The footy's back, and aren't we pleased about it? And aren't they pleased about it in Tasmania as well? I'm standing outside the main entrance here of North Hobart Oval, and they're pouring in for the game, which is the first game in round one of the Ansett Australia Cup between North Melbourne and Carlton. And if your team isn't playing today, don't worry about it, because by Monday week, every team will have played in round one of the Cup, with matches breaking new ground this year. We're going to Cape Town in South Africa tomorrow night, and next weekend we go to Wellington in New Zealand. It should be a fantastic series. Well, the fun's over. This is serious, and as we've seen in previous years, now everybody wants to win the Ansett Australia Cup to set themselves up for a good season. This should be a ripper between last year's winners of the Cup, Carlton, and North Melbourne, who in the Premiership proper in the last 4 years haven't finished worse than a preliminary final position. It should be great. We hope you enjoy it with us. And now to look through the teams today, here's Terry Wheeler and Peter McKenna.
Thanks very much, Drew. And North Melbourne with a very, very experienced team against Terry Wheeler, a very, very young and changing the guard at Carlton side.
It is, Peter. There's 4 young boys playing their first game for the Blues here today. Peter Dean, Michael Sexton are out of the side. And the addition to the side is Sean Charles, a young player from Melbourne who will be very much watched here today. Sean playing off a half-back flank has given run through the practice games, but could be very much used in the forward line. The list will include Chris Massey, the young player there at the top of the list, a young player from the Dandenong under-18s last year. But as I said, 4 young players, so for Blues fans, have a close look because there's some good young kids about to play for your side here today.
And it's very interesting for North Melbourne, Terry, because they've got 3 players from other league clubs and 3 pretty exciting players. I'm very interested myself in Damien Houlihan. He had a stint at Collingwood. And of course, you've got Shannon Grant from the Sydney Swans, who's a very good midfielder, great kick of a ball. And also Winston Abraham, that enigmatic player from the Fremantle Dockers. And I'm tipping that he'll become an exciting player at North and will become the darling of the North supporters.
The 1998 Ansett Australia Cup, brought to you by EA Sports, Ansett Australia, Solo, Nike, and National Australia Bank.
And be watching the Ansett Australia Cup on 7, and you could win a chance to follow your team for the entire season. During the day, we'll be showing you the number where you can call and register. 1902 555 648 to register your name and the club you support. And you and a friend could be at every match this season, including interstate games, sitting with team officials, families and players, and have access to the rooms before and after the games. Plus, you'll be decked out in your team's on-field gear. 1902 555 648. Ring now and register. And in addition to this great major prize, every match will give away a set of the new AFL on-field gear worth $350, including authentic AFL club jumpers, tracksuits and heaps more. It's the authentic gear that the AFL players wear on and off the field, which is available now from all department stores, sports stores and the AFL store. And aren't they decked out in their gear here at North Hobart today? In perfect conditions, we should be set for a great opening match in the 1998 Ansett Australia Cup. And we'll be back for the start of the game after a short break. Well, this morning there was an event here in Hobart with Tasmania's first AFL store opened at Glenorchy here in downtown Hobart. And AFL Chief Executive Wayne Jackson was there with Collingwood legends Paul Williams and Graham Wright, who will be running the store here, and all the AFL merchandise will be on sale as it is around the country, and that's a terrific first for Tasmania here this morning. Now the umpires in charge of today's game under grey clouds but mild conditions, and Mount Wellington clearly visible from here. It should be a magnificent afternoon for football, and the umpires in charge today are number 19 Gavin Dorr, number 28 Jamie Love. All these boys will be a bit nervous, like the players and the commentators, for the first game of the season. and number 29, Steve McBurney. But I'm sure a man who's not nervous at all, he's used to the pressure here. But now the scratch matches are over, Russell Morris, and we're down to the real thing.
So, Drew, the practice matches are all over now. Look, this is where it starts to get serious, the Ansett Australia Cup. The players have gone through their pre-season training camps, they've had their aerobic sessions, their swimming, and even their bonding sessions. But now it's a time when the players are probably 100% aerobically fit. They're not necessarily match fit. They're probably about 80 to 85% match fit. But the best time to play football in these conditions, it's sensational. It's not too hot, although it's not too warm as well. But the ground itself is in sort of soft conditions. The wind's blowing right across the ground, so instead of going left to right, it's probably failing a little bit to the right, but more down to that left forward pocket. And we're looking forward to a very sensational game. Just one point, Drew. I've got to say happy birthday to my sister, who's 40 years old today in Sydney, so I hope she has a good day. But looking forward to a sensational Ansett Australia Cup match tonight.
You'll be no doubt mailing the present from here. Well, there's Johnny Longmire, and doesn't he look well? Having come back, didn't play a game the season before last, came back well last year. He missed out on the premiership in the centenary year of '96 for the Roos. And you also saw tossing the coin for the Blues, acting captain today, Brett Ratton. Well, he's umpteenth in line. Stephen Kernahan's now gone. Craig Bradley was announced as captain, but he won't be playing for about a month. So Brett Ratton acting captain today, and with the haircut, it just goes to prove how interesting these games can be pre-season, Pete.
It certainly can. As we see Matthew Hoggan, there's the captain for the day, Brett Ratton. And that's a just reward, Terry, for his great performances in recent years. He's a medalist there. He's one of the best and fairest, and he's been up in the best and fairest count for the last 3 or 4 years.
There's no doubt about that. And one of the things that Brett Ratton does bring is true leadership qualities. With Bradley not being there, Ratton in the middle of the ground, he'll be certainly a force today.
So in the first quarter, the Blues will be going right to left. And Evan Hewitt, a youngster, is in the ruck for North Melbourne. Played just one game last year, recruited from Subiaco, number 21. And he's going up against Matty Allen. There's young Hewitt, just a 19-year-old. He gets up pretty early and takes Allen to the ground as well. Ball spills free. Pretty hard to get the first kick. Jason McCartney wins it. Long one to the full forward line. A juggle down there by Scholl. Quick hand pass to Roberts. Roberts hoists it high to the goal square. They set 2 against 2. No mark. It comes off hands and Aaron Hamill clears, but his kick is beautifully smothered and the ball rips out of bounds.
Drew, that aside, that'll do McCartney's confidence a world of good. In his third club, North Melbourne looking for him to hold centre-half back and being able just to charge the ball down there and take it in one hit. Great start for him.
Now, Allen against Hewitt. Allen taps it down with the left hand. It's deep in that half-forward line. It's socket off the ground, but the mark has been taken by Peter Bell.
What a year he had last year, didn't he?
Well, tremendous. The little rover, he'll kick for goal from about 40 metres on a slight angle, but he was a terrific acquisition to North Melbourne. Now he's kicking it in short here. Oh, poor kick. Straight in the hands of Matty Hogg.
Well, he was looking for Roberts on the lead and the kick dropped short.
Hogg in X-back pocket, knew where to go, Drew, right into the hole.
Oh, and what a climb. A fantastic mark drag down there by Jason McCartney. So he's come up from defence to mark forward of the centre wing. McCartney kicks long to full forward. Allen fills the hole and Matty Allen takes the mark safely. No problem at all. Fires back the hand pass. Rice comes out wide. A chance here for the Blues. That's Damien Locke. Up towards half forward. 2 Carlton players spoiled themselves. The hand pass over the top by Koutafidis, who's got the new haircut as well. He's hard to recognise, and the ball's going out of bounds for a throw in half forward.
There's one thing about the first game of the year, the new haircuts, the new numbers, but one thing, all the players are so much physically bigger and stronger at this stage, coming off a hard season of weights.
So Carlton's half-forward line. Lance Whitnell, the young player, taking on McCartney here in this ruck contest, which we often see in modern-day football. Whitnell won it with the left hand onto Pearce, who centres the ball. That was disciplined play. Beautiful football that was to centre that, and the mark has been taken for Carlton by Andrew Borkwell. Now, only a young player, his first kick for the Blues might result in a goal.
Oh, very much. And this is great team-oriented work here from Pearce. You know, 2 or 3 years ago, we saw Pearce as the real goal scorer, but here really setting up a great opportunity for the first goal.
So Andrew Borkwell from directly in front has drifted it slightly right, and I think it was a nervous sort of a kick. He just stabbed at that instead of going back and belting it through the goals.
Yeah, well, it's an important game for Andrew Borkwell. I mean, he only played the one senior game last year, so he's not a young man. He's some 25 years of age. He was in the Brett Heaver swap going over to Port Adelaide, so they've given him an opportunity here today to do well.
David King kicks to himself and then clears the 50-metre mark. Big leap by Hamill.
Should have spoiled.
He paid the mark to McCartney.
Yeah, Hamill had every opportunity to come over the top and spoil, hesitated from behind.
Kick by McCartney, who's opened pretty well. Carey, oh, magnificent. Didn't he stretch the hamstrings for that? Too far out to score Wayne Carey. Scholl offers the lead from full forward. Carey's kick to the point of the goal square, dropping a bit short. Allen pushed out, and free kick to Allen.
That's good umpiring. Very good umpiring, not to just let that go and call it a pack situation. He was pushed right out of that contest. Now this is Justin Murphy with a long raking kick out towards centre wing. There's that fearsome sight. Mickey Martin almost threw it away. Here's the pace of David King, but the umpires paid a holding the man decision back here to Mick Martin.
It's an interesting matchup there, Pete. Martin's got Koutafidis, and Koutafidis is going to play well up the ground and be mobile. Pressure's going to be on Mick up there.
Not sure why there was an advantage there. Scholl claiming the mark. The umpire comes in and will ball it up just inside the 50. Well, isn't it interesting to see some of these players when they come out with a suntan and different haircuts? Koutafidis.
And I'll tell you what, every one of them looks super fit.
49 metres out. Allen slaps it out of there. Can't clear the area. Bell can't get boot to ball. Hamill over the centre of the ground. Push out by Pike. Whitnell. That's Pickett. He's lost control of it. Ball slung out. Well done by Archer. Back to Pike. Cross half back he goes. Blakey might be happy to see the line. Keeps it in. Roberts. Good hands early season. Back to Chandler. Under pressure. Hamill got him well. And that eventually will go out inside the 50.
There's no doubt about these traditional ovals, and this is one where you've got the straight wings. There's not much room to get away. And once the ball's hot in close, you're going to get hammered very quickly. So we're going to see a lot of pressure, particularly around the boundary lines here today.
You're dead right, Terry. This is every game we've ever seen at this oval. They play very, very hard and tight. There's Ratton going to ground. Stevens laying the tackle. Peter Bell grabs it and boots it out towards centre wing. Winston Abraham trying to use his body close to the boundary line. It'll be a throw-in because it did cross the line. A very experienced North Melbourne side. There's that will-o'-the-wisp from Fremantle, Winston Abraham. Terrific goal kicker. He'll be an acquisition to this North side. A very young Carlton side. But when they're young, they usually have a red-hot go. Here's David King from half-back to centre wing. Hoggett, clever little kick. Finds to Julio. That was cleverly done. Onto the left, brings it in towards full forward. Allen's down there, it's flicked over the back. I'm pretty sure this will be forced to the line, and it is.
It's a real pressure on young Evan Hewitt there now, isn't it? When Allen floats down and is a forward option inside 20, Hewitt has the job of running with him, and bit of experience now, Matty Allen. A few years under his belt, knows the caper, and Evan Hewitt has only just played the one senior game.
Roberts knocks it straight back out of bounds. You saw a shot of the interchange bench there. If you think it looks pretty crowded, 6 interchange players for the Ansett Australia Cup at the start of this season. I think it's a thing we might have to get used to in premiership matches in times to come. They often trial things in this Ansett Cup and they finish up becoming official. Hewitt did pretty well. Snap for goal by Ratton is good.
Well, that was a big call there from Evan Hewitt to take the ball. I mean, he's right in the danger zone, the forward pocket region for Carlton. And if he takes the ball, the opposition ruckman is always going to be right there. And this is the example. He takes it. Allen's got there, does enough just to force the ball free. And Brett Ratton, very, very good work across the body there to pick up his first goal.
Well, it's all Carlton on the scoreboard so far. 1-1. And North yet to score. Knocked on by Hewitt. That was well played. The breeze slightly favouring Carlton's end. Now, Dean Rice with a hurry kick to half forward. Oh, good mark. Playing in front.
With his number gone,
Pete, his number's gone. I'm pretty sure it's Hume as he kicks it to the forward pocket. And a good diving mark taken by Pearce. Now, Brad Pearce A left footer, beautiful kick for goal. He'll have to kick to that left-hand goal post.
You'd back him, Peter, wouldn't you?
Well, it'll definitely swing left to right as we're watching him. He's a beautiful kick, this player, and he's vital to the Blues' chances this year up forward. Let's see, he's pulled it across his body and he didn't kick to that left-hand goal post and he's missed.
Sometimes it's a fine line for a coach as to who he wants to have a shot at goal. I think it's very important for Brad Pearce to get a good start to the season and pick up some goals. The last couple of years he's been hampered by injuries, knees and hamstrings, and so he's had a good clean pre-season to date, injury-free. Now they just need to work and build up his confidence.
King kicks in virtually straight up the ground. McCartney flying. Hewitt got a fingernail to it. Rice has been prominent early. And the Blues have started well. North went into the game as favourites. Hacked out of the air by Anthony Stevens up to half forward. Here's Craig Scholl with McKay. McKay trying to get him to the line. And McKay wins the footy. And the Blues have it. Murphy, well done by Andy McKay. And now eventually the boundary umpire said it did get over the line and it'll be a throw-in.
Drew, earlier in the day when we were out on the ground, the breeze was favouring the direction that North Melbourne is kicking now, but I think everything is quite still at the moment. There's no advantage either way, so this has been a good start by Carlton.
That was Allen against Hewitt again. We saw a shot of former Geelong rover Robert Scott on the boundary line doing some stretching a moment ago. Umpires Gavin Dorr, Jamie Love and Steve McBurney. So it's taken by Ratton. Back towards the centre of the ground. Here's Locke. That was very good football. On to Camporelli. Camporelli right down to the half-forward line. Umpire calling play on, and Glenn Archer is there to tap it over the line.
Good work there from Archer. Front position all the way. It was only he and Brad Pearce, the only two players who were really into that chance on that long ball. Took the front position just where the backman needs to be. Again,
the Blues in attack. Martin against Koutafidis. North have it and run it out of defence. Roberts, long kick to half forward. Carey, one out. Well done by Manton. And he paid the mark to Manton, who went the spoil and got the rebound. Across the half-back line he comes. Damien Locke from Bendigo to Murphy. Anstey bounces it inside 50. King is back there for North. McCartney getting plenty of leather early and the ball out of play.
A couple of the newer players really making an impression here. McCartney we've just mentioned, but Damien Locke, the young player you call as a player from Bendigo, Drew, his second year at the club, but really now just starting to build some confidence in his own game.
So half forward for the Blues again. Ratton gets it to Murphy. A quick kick is a dangerous kick and a good kick. And drifting down is Camporelli to mark 15 metres out from goal, directly in front, and this should be another goal to come up to the Blues. And very impressive, this, Terry.
Well, what's impressive, just in the Carlton forward line structure at the moment, is that the full forward line will always lead up hard at the ball, creating space behind. And in this example, Camporelli was the one to come in there.
Well, directly in front, he stabs it through. Yeah. So it's all the Blues at the moment. 2-2 and North yet to score.
I mean, that's a great forward line structure just that they got going there just at the moment there. You can see the gap here where Pearce has brought Archer up, and then it's a flat-out race back to the square, and Camporelli was the front man. Now, it's always difficult on these smaller grounds to get your structures right. Whether that's one they hold all year or it's just for today, I'm not sure yet.
Back in the middle with young Hewitt to go up against Allen. Allen wins it and sock it off the ground by the goal scorer Camporelli up towards half forward. King, David King off the left boot, happy to find centre wing, gets Stevens and chopped off by McKay. Didn't go 10 metres, so he played on and took it out of bounds. Russell Morris. Back for the boundary throw in. Murphy. Just having a bit of trouble hearing Russell. We'll get to him later. In the front of the pack, Locke floats a hand pass. He's done some very clever things. Diulio's hand pass to a man under pressure. He was ridden in the ground, in the backs of the umpire, and the free kick to Brett Ratton.
No doubt about that, Drew. I mean, his forward movement there, and the North player really just kept going with the forward momentum when in the tackle you need to check yourself and drop your weight vertically down.
Well, that's great play by Ratton. Terrific play. Instead of blazing away, he has found Dean Rice, who is a big kick, and he will kick from just inside 50 for maybe another goal to come up to the Blues. Again, he must kick to that left-hand goalpost and drift it in with the breeze. Now he tries it. It starts to come back. Doesn't quite make the distance. The big fist comes over the back, and it is forced over the line. So it'll be a throw-in deep in that forward pocket. There's Robert Scott. The little rover, he's not looking too happy. I think he's itching to get on.
From the boundary throw in. Well, McCartney didn't go up against Whitnell. And the ball's there for the Blues, only 25 metres out from goal. Good desperation by North. And they're going nowhere. Now let's try Russell Morris again.
How's that, Drew? Look, I think Anthony Koutafidis has dragged Mickey Martin right out of the goal square. They're taking advantage of his lack of experience out of that goal square to allow a lot more space because, you know, as we know, Martin's very, very accomplished defender when it's tight. So Koutafidis is right up at the square.
And here are the Blues in attack, but King has been a stout defender so far. He goes to the outer wing, and McKay over there with Scholl, and neither can reach the ball before it goes out. How do you like the jumpers?
Well, it's hard to get used to, but I think Carlton's looks terrific, and North look pretty spick and span too, but some of the traditionalists wouldn't like it, of course. But still, it's only for the Ansett Cup matches. Centre wing. Again, it's Hewitt and Allen. Allen with the big left hand. He is a very, very talented ruckman. That's good play by Hume. He's a little terrier trying to crash his way through. Taken by Chandler. Oh, a kick in midair was missed by Mick Martin. Koutafidis in after it. Rice, Koutafidis still. Allen goes in to lend a hand. It's Manton getting it out to Giulio. Centre wing. Oh, free kick to Camporelli. He was dragged off the ball. Should have been a free kick. So it's on centre wing. It'll be a throw in, and Camporelli looked around at the umpire pleading for a free and didn't get it. So Allen again against Hewitt. Camporelli to the half-forward line. The bounce, very, very important here. Mickey Martin, Lance Whitnell. Good play by the young fella. Martin goes for the boundary line. It's kept in play, though. Quick hand pass comes back by Koutafidis, and he looks so different. Where's that blonde hair gone?
Hard to spot him. Boundary throw in on the 50. The Blues have done all the attacking, and North haven't scored. The Blues won this whole competition last year, but they were outsiders today. It comes across here to Pickett. He kicks to open spaces. McKay leads Scholl in the race. Might have been in the frame for the captaincy, Andrew McKay, but they gave it to Craig Bradley, who's had long service at the club. Camporelli back to Rice. Kick by Dean Rice. He sets it up for Pearce.
I tell you what, Drew, if Dean Rice can stay upright in this competition, he's a great player.
Allen gets the goal.
Good combination. A good combination of work there. Rice giving the run on the outer side and being able then to bring the ball back in. Rice has been one of the key players in this early part of the game in just being able to link up the midfield. Pearce here, a little bit slow perhaps to turn around and have a look. He had to have been told by a teammate, I think instinctively you should turn and go back facing the goal so you can see these opportunities. He did eventually turn. There was Matthew Allen.
Well, there's the former Demon, Sean Charles.
Peter, isn't it? Everyone wants to get into the game, and these two boys are stuck far at the right end of the ground and haven't had a real opportunity yet. Houlihan and Charles.
Well, that was Chandler going forward. It's 20 points to nothing at the moment. Here's a chance for North. Anthony Stevens burst out of the pack, and onto the chest it goes to Damien Houlihan, the former Magpie, who started as a full forward at Collingwood.
There we are. We're just talking about them, how there's a long wait often in the deep in the forward line for your opportunities, and you have to really be ready both as the forward and then as the defender to go with him. Houlihan had the initiative, got the initial jump on Sean Charles, and Charles, all he could do then was chase. Excellent kick into the lead, and now a very important kick on a personal basis for this young man. First run for the Kangaroos.
So he certainly has got a lot of ability. Damien Houlihan was lost to the country for a couple of years. He has kicked it goal. It looks pretty good. He's just missed. Ooh. So the crowd reaction behind the goal signalled a goal. But
just look at this bloke come through here. Stevens just charged him apart and away. I'm not sure whether this is a great place for Sean Charles to start his first game for Carlton, that being virtually at full back.
Scholl to Carey. Carey floated one high to King. 70 metres out from goal north. And that'll be a ball up.
I mean, Pete, they talk about getting discipline into players, but here we got Sean Charles, a long way from the action, and a very creative player wanting to have a bit of a dip at the game, I'm sure.
Johnny Longmire's just come on the ground for North, replacing Evan Hewitt. And Longmire straight on the ball. Chandler gets the hand pass wide. Comes to Pickett. Long kick to full forward. Manton is back there, but oh, it was almost a one-handed mark, same direction as the ball, by an unknown Carlton player, Diulio. And Diulio reckons to the umpire, why isn't that a mark? And Jamie Love didn't agree, and that is a mark. That's never touched the ground.
I think he also thought it was a free kick. But it's up at North's half forward end. Well, Allen could have received a free. Then McKay, he's a good player. On to Koutafidis. Here's Anthony Stevens. He goes in very hard after the ball and then taps it to the line for safety first.
I tell you what's important at the moment is Manton's job on Carey. Centre half forward going up to the right of screen, very important position. But Manton's just been able to nullify and ensure that Carey has had no influence to date.
Well, Glenn Manton has been a great player for Carlton. There's Charles. He kicks quickly, and Brett Chandler working very, very hard in this first term. He's a good, honest player, formerly of Fitzroy, of course. He's kicked it straight to Anthony Koutafidis. Now, he transfers play, finds Rice. Rice is at half back.
Got to keep coming this side.
They're moving this ball.
It's important once you start a switch that you keep it going so that your centre half forward line has something to work off.
Well, that was a poor kick by Anstey, and chipping in was Pickett. 2-on-1 here. Good play by Houlihan. It was at Scholl. Back Abraham, that could have been holding the ball. Taken away by Camporelli. On to Ratton. And here comes Charles through the middle.
This is what he's for.
Oh, and he just took them on and had a head-on collision. That was terrific by Pickett. Just as Charles looked as though he's going to get it to full forward. It comes to Roberts. Hand pass away to King. Very prominent in the first quarter.
And whatever you can do, I can do better, says King.
Loves to tuck it under the armpit and go. Carey, man in front. Magnificent mark to Kuta. Now here's Sean Charles going through the middle, took his eyes off the ball and didn't see Pickett coming and absolutely crunched him. Now here's Sean Charles again, bouncing one up towards the 50. Mick Martin has stayed back in defence as Koutafidis has moved to the other end of the ground, and the umpire will ball it up.
So I think there's just been a little bit of urgency's come into the game over the last few minutes. I think North Melbourne is starting to think, hey, this one could get away from us here. We're 3-2 to just the single behind, and Carlton full of running from their half-back line.
Comes to Martin. His kick up short of centre wing, and a good running mark is taken on his chest here by Andrew Borkwell. Not that young, 25 years of age. He's played one game only. That was last year. Russell Morris.
Yeah, Drew, I think there was a bit of obviously the tussle on the wing there with Carey. A sensational mark-up by the Fridgeman, North Melbourne. Carey was spoken to. It's just a bit of frustration when the ball's not delivered to Carey. It's an half forward all that well. You mentioned that Manton's doing pretty well. Bit of frustration comes into the game and a few arms are thrown around, but he's bigger and better than that.
Martin Pike from centre half back to Carey with Manton. Manton almost pushed him into it. Comes to the front of the pack to Johnny Longmire. Kick short, Manton, no mark. Ball flipped up by Diulio, close to the boundary line. Longmire intercepted here by Chatfield with the long blonde hair, the Blues' second pick in the October draft, but a diving mark is taken by Pickett.
Well, Pickett's doing pretty well in this first term. Well played again by Manton to punch it away from Carey. And they really need Wayne Carey to start coming into it. Mind you, centre half forward is probably the most difficult position. There's Glenn Manton doing a top job.
I think no doubt you're right, Peter. I mean, centre half forward on this smaller ground, you're either too close to the action or you're too far away from the action, and more often than not, the half-back line will carry it over your head.
But don't you worry, it won't be long before he's in it. I'll bet on that. It's kicked off the ground towards the north half forward line.
Well, Peter, what say we sneak him down into the forward pocket, where the longer ball coming in, and have him perhaps work in behind Houlihan?
Well, he might play a bit deeper when they're kicking to the other end, because it's certainly, I think, couple of goals breeze going to left of screen. That was Longmire against Allen. Allen's got the height now. It's tapped wide. Shannon Grant latches onto it, bends it back, And let's wait on the goal umpire. It's a goal.
Well, looked a little bit strange with the number 6. There certainly wasn't Ian Fairley whipping around there on the outer side. This is a very good goal, and there's no doubt that this is what Shannon Grant needs to bring to the North Melbourne side. Last week in the practice game over in Adelaide, he picked up 2 goals from running down hard from the wing, and that's what they need. They've foregone Wayne Schwass for this boy. He needs to be a goal scorer for them.
Shannon Grant with North's first goal from just about his first touch. In the centre, it's knocked out by Anthony Stevens. Not built like a ruckman, but did the work of a ruckman. Here's Cooter, caught by Carey. Back to Manton. Oh, well played, Glenn Manton. To Ratton, slides it across. Hogg. Mark Papp should have been taken there by Hume. Chatfield overruns. Comes back again. Caught by Scott. Hume's hand pass out. Hogg attempts to knock the ball up the ground. Chandler does for North Melbourne. Longmire. He palms off McKay. Finds Roberts in support. Long kick by Mark Roberts. Bouncing, but going the wrong way. And out of bounds for a throw-in in the forward pocket.
And gee, that tackling, Terry, in the centre of the ground is ferocious.
It's certainly, and it's interesting the way both coaches have introduced their 2 Koori players into the game, and that's been in the back line. Sean Charles in the back for Carlton and Byron Pickett in the back for North Melbourne.
So forward pocket for North. Charles is going to be an exciting player for the Blues. Mark Roberts, terrific use of the body. And he is normally a beautiful kick from this distance, 40 metres. And that was experience there on Aaron Hamill. Just nudge him out.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, really was eyes on the ball all the time. And for anyone looking to learn that skill, that's the essence of it. Get yourself into the position between you, your opponent and the ball, and then just keep your eye on the ball and do the body work that way. Don't look at your opponent.
Mark Roberts looking very, very fit. From 45 metres, he's just pulled it across. And the windsock going across the ground, slightly to the left of screen. Russell Morris.
A lot of the ball. Martin Pike's moved on to Koutafidis, and Mickey Martin's moved back into that deep into the back line.
Now the Blues bringing the ball out of defence. Short of centre wing. Carey this time, the man who has to go the punch. Caught in a backward position, and he did it beautifully. You see the close-up shots of Carey with his man, and he's just got size, strength, weight all over them. He's not getting into the game so far. Longmire wins in ruck. Hurriedly kicked out of defence for the Blues by Diulio. In the centre of the ground, Winston Abraham. Kicked it just a little bit too high for Houlihan. Here's Stevens trying to keep it in. And the ball out of play. Good crowd here at North Hobart Oval watching the first match in round 1 of the Ansett Australia Cup.
And I wonder if his career has been resurrected, Damien Houlihan, by the fact his brother is doing so well with Geelong, his brother being Adam, of course.
I'm sure that would have given him a G up. Brett Ratton clears. Oh, Archer. Well, David King, his teammate, was in the way, and Archer said, I don't care who you are. What a mark. Kick by Archer. 35 metres out. It comes to the back to King Carey. Allen is back there for the Blues. Well played by Matty Allen. Hamill had time for the fumble. Murphy in a bit of space. Awkward half volley. He's lost it. Well done, Stevens. Kick partly smothered. Hamill again for Carlton. Out wide. There's nobody there. He wants it out of bounds, but not on the full. And it is out on the full. Free kick to be taken by Stevens.
So Stevens into half forward, smothered off the boot, taken by Dean Rice. Magnificent smother there at half forward. Socket off the ground by Stevens. Taken by Roberts. Hit about it. Great tackling by the Blues. Gee, it's hard to get a kick out there. Andrew McKay finds Charles, cleverly ropes it in with the one hand and brings it to centre wing. Whitnell at the back. Archer, a brilliant mark in the centre of the pack.
Just keeps throwing his body in, doesn't he? Whether it's in the air at ground level, Glenn Archer's hard at it.
Here's Shannon Grant just forward of the centre circle. In the swap with Wayne Schwass, came from the Sydney Swans. And now Houlihan, who looks a totally different player from the one who played for Collingwood with the long flowing blonde hair.
Well, if he can make it there, Terry, at full forward, what a difference it could make when McKernan comes back and Carey, the big flyer.
Yeah, exactly. And you look at really, that's what North have not had since Johnny Longmire kicked the goals way back in 1991. I think he picked up 98 then. They haven't had a full forward. Carey often has bobbed in with the big bags, but Scholl has been the man. Houlihan has a real chance to become the full forward.
Here's the view from behind, 50 metres out, and it's a perfect kick. Well, the Blues made a great start, but North have hit back. 6 points the margin. Adam Houlihan with 1 goal, 1. He kicked 11 senior goals for Collingwood in 1994. Spent the 95 season in the reserves and then went missing. Spent last year at Tatura, but was drafted on Tuesday in the pre-season draft, and here he is getting on the end of some good North play.
Often, Drew, you get into league footy too quick and too easily, and I think Damien might be a player who'd tell us that. Playing 11 games at Collingwood just as an 18-year-old was just too much for him, and he really blew the chance.
Well, it's only 6 points the difference now. That's Robert Scott with a quick kick, but taken by Justin Murphy. A long bomb in towards full forward. As the siren sounds, no mark, indicates the umpire. The siren is sounded in a very hard tackling and pretty quick first term when Carlton, Terry, dominated the first 15 minutes, but North came back hard, and they're only 6 points down.
It's quite incredible the way that Carlton did dominate. There's big Steve Kernahan, now a board member and a skills coach at Carlton. You know, he would have been very happy there in the first 15 minutes of the game when Carlton skipped away to 3-0 and led by some 20 points. But then North Melbourne settled a little better. Houlihan started to give them a bit of a target up. Now just the 6 points. We've really got a ball game here, Drew.
We certainly have a game at quarter time here in match 1 of round 1 of the Ansett Australia Cup. Carlton 3-2-20 lead North Melbourne 2-2-14. Quarter time at North Hobart Oval with Carlton leading by a straight kick, 3-2 to 2-2. There have been 5 different goal kickers. Interesting that Wayne Britton, the assistant at Carlton, was addressing the Blues out there at quarter time. No sign of David Parkin, who didn't come out, but a bit of experience out there. Stephen Kernahan is one of the many who gathered around the group. And we can see that Dennis Pagan is addressing the Kangaroos. And Russell Morris is out on the ground, and he does have the great captain, former captain, Stephen Kernahan.
Thanks, Drew. Sticks, no David Parkin in that quarter-time huddle. What was the reason behind that?
You know, well, he's handed over to Brits today. Brits did last week, and he's just given the experience in the first game of the Ansett Cup. So Parker just having to sit back after watching for 30 years, I suppose.
So I saw, what's your role at the moment at the club?
I'm on the match committee and skills coaching.
You enjoying that?
Beautiful.
So, and also offering a lot of advice to the younger guys?
Oh, well, that's part of our role here, and you know, it's great to see the young blokes out there. I thought they were fantastic in the first quarter. It's a sign of the times.
Mate, it's a sensational effort by the young guys. Just on that point, they're attacking the ball at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, I thought our aggression there was fantastic. You know, we're a bit unlucky we're not further in front. We're really happy with it up there.
Was there talk about you being an underdog for this game?
Oh, I suppose it would have been fly. We've got a lot of senior players out still, so you know, we're pretty happy with the way it's gone.
Good on you, well done.
Thanks, mate.
Stephen Kernahan, who captained the Blues to 226 games, a record by a captain at a single club. The only other 200 captains are Dick Reynolds and Ted Witt.
And was talked of at Carlton in the same breath as John Nichols, and I don't think there's any better reference than that.
Second quarter about to get underway here at North Hobart Oval. Blues by 6 points. Longmire in the ruck and gets it down to Chandler. Chandler bursts out of the middle. High ball to the 50. Abraham, not much chance. Carey over the top. Abraham applying the tackle. The umpire's going to have to ball this up right on 50. Rice reckons it's high, huh? And I thought he did have a bit of a case, Dean Rice, but the umpire will ball it up instead of paying the free. A lot of players around this ball up. Longmire now in the ruck. And applies the tackle to Manton. It spills to Scott, who chips one off the ground. Pike is there. Abraham, a great hand pass to Scholl. Poor old kick by Craig Scholl. He was only about 20 metres out.
And good play by Ratton to punch it through for a behind. Just didn't mess around. No, didn't take the chance. 3-2 to 2-3. Dean Rice kicks reasonably long, but to a man in Hamill at half. They couldn't quite hang on to it. Here's Martin Pike. An up and under kick to the full forward line. There's plenty of Carlton defenders there. Manton will probably head for the boundary line, but Bell chips in. Onto Abraham, who pings away a goal and just sneaks it in for one behind.
Very, very interested in the positioning there of Sean Charles at full back. It looks as though David Parkin is looking for him to be able to take on the taller type forwards. At the moment, he's got Mark Roberts and spoil in the air and then expose their potential lack of pace at ground level. But one thing that Sean has to ensure that in his game is that when he does go up in the air, that he does clean the air out. That time he tried to mark when really a big spoil was more necessary.
Well, here's a great camera shot looking towards Dean Rice. Kicking it again, he kicks long, but only succeeds in finding the tall timber for North. Is Johnny Longmire, who will appreciate the running around the ground. Carey, some pushing and shoving down there with Whitnell. Quick hand pass comes out to Ron DiUlio. Oh, he's taken them on. And the umpire said he went too far. Carey, the advantage paid. Carey into full forward, 1 on 2. 2 Carlton, 1 North. And as Terry Wheeler just said, Charles there to mop up. He gives it across to Rice, and Rice kicks to centre wing.
Oh, what a mark. A fantastic mark by Byron Pickett, who spent virtually all of last year in the reserves. One senior game last year. Back to full forward. Scholl, magnificent mark. 35 metres out right in front.
Just at the moment, it's building up to be a little bit of a battery into the North Melbourne forward line. They've got a lot of marking options in there. Roberts is down there now, Scholl, and that is a very good mark. Eyes on the ball. The long kick into the forward line is going to have a lot of pressure on Carlton defence. And
with all the attention on Carey when it's bombed high, sometimes Scholl can come in from the side, Terry, and he's a very dangerous player.
I think in any side, you perhaps prefer to be rated number 2 or 3 forward, don't you? You don't get the best gun against you every week, and you can just work in and around it all.
Fancy saying that to Pete. He was never anything but number 1. Here's Scholl. And he's put the Kangaroos in front for the first time. Well, it was all Carlton early, and North have hit back really well in the last 10 or 15 minutes of play.
They've started to kick the ball that little bit longer into the forward line. Now, the windsock isn't showing any advantage either way. It's pretty much away from where we're viewing it now and across to the outer side of the ground. And we've seen that in some shots at goal. But North kicking the ball longer into the forward line now.
Well, a very important couple of minutes coming up here for Carlton, because North Melbourne have really lifted their game here. Longmire has it taken away here by Matty Hogg. In towards full forward, the high flyers wait behind Mickey Martin. Back towards the square. Taken for Carlton, and on the left foot towards full forward. It's taken by Borkwell, and it's a goal.
You're always looking for that quick reply, aren't you? And a good quick break out of the centre. Well, he's been quite busy across half forward. In the first quarter, he took a couple of marks and had some opportunities. But this time, just being able to rove the Mickey Martin spoil at the front of the contest where you need to be, makes the most of it on the left-hand side. This is good. Just seemed to lay the ball across the body there, well put down onto the foot, and kicked it hard enough, bounced it through the square.
So the Blues back in front. Goal by Borkwell, South Australian from Central Districts. But Chandler has it for the Kangaroos. Out to Grant. Kick by Shannon Grant to full forward. Roberts is down in the goal square now, and he's marked. With Houlihan coming up the ground, and Roberts now the focal point. And Roberts is marked right in front and about 30 metres out.
Yeah, it's that height factor, isn't it, Pete? Roberts against Charles. Sean really has to ensure that he's disciplined in the air, has no risks here, gets caught under it, does everything he possibly can. All he did was lack a couple of inches at the bottom of his boots.
This for another lead change. Goal by Roberts. North back in front. Well, if you've gone a whole summer and missed your footy, I reckon you're getting a double dose here today. This is great.
And I think now it'll really open up to be quite a high-scoring game, because the midfields are now, they've got through that initial tension in the game and are now starting to get some clear breaks, and when they're delivering the ball, they're delivering it longer in the forward line, giving a cleaner option for their forwards.
So Darren Crocker about to come on for North. And John Blakey coming off. Brett Chandler is doing some good solid work in the middle. He gave off that initial hand pass that resulted in that goal. Now Ansett gets it on to Camporelli. Camporelli to the forward pocket. The North defenders race back. The ball might beat them through. It does. And bounces through for a behind. But that ball is moving at 100 mile an hour. Is John Blakey, who, Terry, has been a fantastic acquisition for North.
And so is this bloke here, Pete. I think Martin Pike, he's really found a niche during last year.
And Pike up towards centre wing. The ball flips off fingers to the back to Allen. Just beats the tackle of Abraham, but he's lost the ball. It comes back to Stevens. He puts it high. Archer. Look at North's forward line. Crocker's gone forward. Archer's there. Roberts is there. And Carey can't get much of the ball, but he's there as well. What choices the Kangaroos have at the moment. Glenn Archer too far out to score. Here's Darren Crocker, fresh on the ground. Couldn't quite hold the mark. There's the King Carey. Back he goes with a hand pass. Houlihan. Funny old kick. Snap across his body by Crocker.
Work.
And Crocker's kicked the goal.
Welcome to the game.
Well, how do you beat a forward line like that?
They're just putting all the guns up there, aren't they? And as you said, Drew, Carey continues to draw the better Carlton defender, and everyone else then gets a little bit of freedom. But Darren Crocker, a very injury-riddled career, but comes into games and makes significant contributions at critical times, and more often than not, either great work on the wing or goals in the forward line.
North Melbourne by 7 points, as Longmire did very well at that centre bounce and gets it on to Robert Scott. To the half-forward line, the high flyers are there again. That Carlton defence is under enormous pressure. McKay gets it to Diulio. Centre wing. Oh, nice mark taken there by Pickett, and he's very, very impressive. So Byron Pickett down to that talented forward line. Carey flies through the air, couldn't quite grab it. He got first touch, but the umpire will come in and bounce about 35 metres out from the North Melbourne goal.
The Carlton defence really was set back before the game when both Peter Dean and Michael Sexton didn't get through the week because of injuries and had to withdraw. It's a little bit shorter now, this defence.
And another 6'3" not out there, of course, is a champion in Steve Silvani. So when they get them all back, the Carlton defence will be as good as ever. Russell Morris.
Yes, Peter, the AFL are forever experimenting with new changes. Today, the first time they're allowing 2 runners from each side. So that obviously allows the coach to make more moves, but each runner is only allowed on the ground once at a time. Once the one runner comes off, the other one can then run on. But we're just going to keep them moving, more instructions and more moves.
Here's Glenn Archer. Hurried kick past Crocker it goes. Roberts might have been held by Charles. Now Charles might have been held by Roberts. Umpire said, oh, even money. 5 bob each way.
It was good umpiring actually in the end, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was. And umpire in charge down there is Steve McBurney. On the edge of the square, he balls it up. Roberts, what a good leap. Flips the ball out. Rice is there for Carlton. Tackled high. Free kick, Dean Rice.
Well, Dean Rice is amazing. He's had knee operations, a former St Kilda player in there. He's just a credit to himself that he's still playing AFL football. Jacob Ansett, deep in that back pocket area. He's only a little fella, but a terrier. No mark the ball. Cop the push in the back. Good umpiring by Gavin Dorr, because that was right in the centre of the back. Hawkwell. Murphy sets himself at the back. The big fist was by King. Ansett is there after it. Shannon Grant tries to get in a hand pass. He does to the racehorse. Kicky's off and running. Look out. He goes short. He's looking down towards Roberts. Roberts taps it up beautifully. Houlihan, an open goal. He kicks it low. A poor kick. And Dean Rice, he knows he let an opportunity slip there.
Sometimes your player gets caught between giving it off to the player in front of them, the North Melbourne teammate, or kicking the goal. I have no problem. If you're the full forward, they're paying you to kick goals. If you can kick it, you kick it. And Damien Houlihan had a perfect opportunity to nail that one.
North by 8 points. Centre wing, Longmire, good mark. Meeting the sandwich. Hit the ground pretty hard. And Johnny Longmire goes back to take his kick. Matty Allen standing the mark. Kick by Longmire inside centre half forward. Carey. Well, Glenn Manton, you've got to get right on him like you did all first quarter. but one little lapse
Yeah.
and it was so easy.
What happened was, I think Manton, at the corner of his eye, saw Koutafidis coming in. Here it is here. See, Manton looks at Koutafidis, then decides to allow Koutafidis to go. Wrong mistake. If it's your man, you go with him. Don't hope that someone else will stop your bloke getting the footy, because this bloke won't mess up.
Well, Wayne Carey going back a long, long way for this kick at goal. Man on the mark is only about 35 metres from goal. Carey back near the centre, looking for his first goal for the day. They love to boo him, only because he's an out-and-out champ. But on this occasion, he misses to the right-hand side.
Just seemed a little bit proppy on the approach to the kick then, Peter. He didn't really have a full body of momentum going forward when he did kick.
I think he tried to guide it into the breeze. Now here's that good camera shot again as Rice chips it across to Hamill. And that second kick is so important in modern day football.
Peter, just on those shots at goal.
Good mark.
Peter, how far should you look to kick the ball? Do you have to kick it out of the ground?
Well, you should kick right through the ball. That's Borkwell who's took that beautiful mark. You've got to kick hard through the ball, not try and guide it. Terry, there's Hogg getting across to Ratton. This is good play onto Anstey. Onto Charles. Sean Charles sets sail for home, but Mickey Martin's in the way and takes a safe mark.
Mighty Mick. He was their best last week in the practice game against Port Adelaide in Adelaide on the Friday night. Here's Carey right back in the back pocket. Up to centre wing. Roberts going the punch from behind and the ball out on centre wing. Russell Morris.
Yes, Drew. Borkwell's come off Peter McKenna. That was Chris Messi that took that beautiful mark on the other side. I mean, just in fairness to the young kid, but North Melbourne's tempo has picked up enormously. Dennis Pagan at quarter time was just pleading at them. You know, their professional outfit, professional unit, and they weren't following the team rules as the free kick is given to Koutafidis on the wing. But Pagan was just adamant and very emotional to his players. So obviously that they've been spurred and they've changed their ways and their emotions.
Koutafidis with the free kick up to centre wing, juggled by Manton, couldn't take the mark. Grant, and the ball out of bounds.
It's interesting now that Lance Whitnell's gone back to take Carey on, which is a very tough one for him, and Manton looking to go forward.
Ronnie Diulio not too good there. He's okay to continue. Manton tried to take clean possession. They've lost it. McCartney bounces the kick up towards Massey. To Murphy. On the lead, Pearce. With him is Mick Martin. At the back, David King, who's played an outstanding game. Kick by King over half-back. Ball hauled in here by Rock. Round the boundary line out of sight. Good spoil by Hamill from behind. Crummer's wanted. Murphy. You've got to be quick, son. Houlihan slides the ball across. North bumble it forward through Stevens. Carey's down on the forward line. Great play as he gets it from Manton. Goal to Wayne Carey. North taking charge now.
Well, this is charge. It's 6 out of the last 7 goals have gone to North Melbourne. When they were under the pump mid-first quarter, they kicked the last 2 goals of the first quarter, and now have picked up 4-1. And really, it's that awesome strength in the forward line that's starting to come through. Bit of strength and a bit of skill, the mixture there for Wayne Carey.
North Melbourne doing a lot better midfield now. Carlton dominated that area earlier, but they have got talented little men, North, and if they keep pummeling it forward to that talented forward line, they'll be hard to beat. There's one of them, Anthony Stevens going forward. Taken by Abraham, gives it to himself. That was very cleverly done. On to Shannon Grant, beautiful kick to Carey, and he's off into an open goal. Another goal to the champion centre-half forward.
Well, there was a stage in the first quarter there where we were wanting Carey to be a little bit closer to goal, because he's really struggling to find the game playing at centre-half forward on this smaller ground. Often at centre-half forward, the ball's going over your head and you can't be pushing back too far. But now he's moving more from the full forward line, and as we saw in that particular shot there was no one else around. It was just Carey and Manton one-on-one, and Carey the superior judgment.
Well, 2 goals in a minute, and here's Damien Locke coming off the ground for the Blues. Looks like blood rule. There has been another change. Chatfield's come on for the Blues, but Porter has gone into the ruck. Well, the Blues need to stem the flow, not just the flow of blood from the ear of Damien Lott, but also the flow of the Kangaroos. There's Chatfield with the blonde hair, and that'll be a ball up. Well, nobody in the game had kicked 2 goals until Carey stepped up and kicked 2 in a minute. What about the hand pass by Winston Abraham in the centre of the ground? That was phenomenal.
And that's the sort of presence and awareness of what's going on around you that a lot of the Koori players bring into our game. And Winston, again, a great example of that quickness of hands.
Grant's kick straight up and down the mine shaft. Here's DiIulio. Under pressure, he's lost it. Great tackle by Grant. It spills to Stevens and across the face of goal for a behind. Gee, they're combining well, the Kangaroos. February the 21st. Russell Morris.
Yeah, Drew, the injury to that ear, there's a split right inside the ear itself, so it might require about 3 or 4 stitches, but it looks quite clean, but he's okay.
So Roddy DiIulio, who's really found a niche for himself at half-back, to centre wing. It drops a little bit short. Carey, disciplined to Chandler. Chandler attacked from all angles here. Kutabides, Hamill. Further afield it goes to Chatfield, in towards half. Oh, nice mark. Taken by Scholl, who's now in defence. He goes wide. Here's Archer. Gee, they've got some talent, North Melbourne. They can interchange a number of players. Well, it's an ordinary kick that time. McKay will go to the boundary line. You can bet on that. And very experienced.
What made you think he'd do
that?
Well,
he's a typical defender, and he was surrounded by North players. And he is a very good, honest player, Andrew McKay.
Brady Anderson's on the ground for North, who was picked up on Tuesday in the pre-season draft. The Sandover medalist from East Perth. It's knocked goalwards by Longmire. McKay under pressure. Well done, Martin Pike. But he's shot for goal offline. It was Crocker, was it? And the ball out of play. That was Martin Pike. Well, they're just interchanging players to the forward line, and that's how come there's no room for Scholl. They've just turned the side upside down.
Exactly. Scholl's gone back to where he won at best and fairest on the wing.
Another chance for North, but Manton clears for the Blues. Oh, beautiful play by Abraham to use his body, and he got his opponent out of the way. The spills come down towards Archer. Long kick for goal, offline and out of bounds.
And Carey was appealing to the umpire by holding decision then as he was going backwards, but he didn't argue for too long. He's smart enough to get on with the game, Wayne Carey. So it's deep in the forward pocket for North. They've got right on top here. Longmire tries to flick it back in front of goal. Socked through by a Carlton player there. Well, he actually grabbed it and kicked it through. And it's a behind to North, and it's Jacob Anstey. So another behind on the board. 7-8 plays 4-3 as Dean Rice looking for an option. Kicks it low and wide, and a nice mark taken by Lance Whitnell, who plays on to Darren Hume. Hume to half forward, looking for Charles. He's got it. Now let's see what the Blues can do here. They need to move it quickly to Pearce so he can use his pace. Now, he's calling for the ball now, but he's surrounded by North players. He'll find it difficult. The North players get into the hole, and good play by Archer to come across, double-fisted and punch it 30 metres over the line. And look at that for a fearsome duo. Mick Martin and, of course, that champion player, number 11, Glenn Archer.
Now from behind the goals, Mount Wellington in the background, and a packed house here at North Hobart Oval. Ball taken to the line by Grant.
They've really just become stagnant in that forward line now, Carlton, haven't they? They're not having the same amount of run through the midfield as they had in the first half of the first quarter, and Pearce is really being held out of it down there.
And ball underfoot, tapped out by Ratton. Pearce 45 metres out. It's falling well short. Hospital ball that. Oh, what a mark. Magnificent mark taken by Jason McCartney. Would not pay.
Played on.
They played on.
Pickett. And Rock clears the ball out to Longmire. Goes short, and Grant marks just behind centre wing. North taking real charge now and leading by 23 points. Forward line moving. Grant not sure which way to go. Crocker got hands to it, couldn't take the mark. Comes down, the hand pass by Hume goes back to Hamill. And now Whitnell, centre wing to centre half forward. Murphy crunched the pack, couldn't come out with the ball. Now a chance. Pearce outside of his left boot. I'm not sure why he did that.
I'll tell you why, because the boy just won't work his right foot well enough.
He couldn't
won't
kick on
have
the
a
right.
dip. Yeah, clearly there was as much room as he wanted, beautifully on the right. Every player who plays league football should be able to kick as well on both sides of the body. Generally, left footers don't, and they really can get caught out too easily. And on that occasion, Pearce was caught out.
Couldn't he have straightened and kicked a drop punt straight?
Yeah, no doubt about it. Maybe there's a touch of Mugler in it there, Drew. I'm not sure.
North have brought on Josh Robertson, a young player from the Murray Bush Rangers, number 39 for his first run. And there's Brad Pearce, who definitely wanted to kick on that left foot. That was, and Shannon Grant been told a few things on the phone by Dennis Pagan. There's Sean Charles. Oof. Pretty tough in there in the clinches, taken by Murphy. He'll try and centre this, but it's straight up in the air and almost into the grandstand. So, but he was under enormous pressure, Murphy, and out on the full. So North really laying it into the Blues now. It's an inexperienced Blues lineup. Still got some good players to come back into that side. We must remember into their defence. North, well, we're told that McKernan's got a pretty serious calf injury, could be out for a number of weeks. David King, centre wing. Oh, should have been a free kick, and it is a free kick to Mark Porter, who was slung around the neck.
Which is a fair effort to get him round the neck. You've got to get on a ladder. Porter, who came into the lineup last year, played 4 games off the rookie list. And he finds Pearce leading hard towards the 50. Now Pearce with a set shot off the left. Allen's there. Off hands and a chance for Chatfield. His first goal. Adam Chatfield, the Blues' second pick in the October draft from Pennant Hills in Sydney, just an 18-year-old. Welcome to the big time.
Well, I think we've now seen a distinct change in the Carlton structure for the better. With Porter coming on and playing in the ruck, they're now allowing Allen to go down and play in the forward pocket. Because previously, the only option they had was Pearce leading forward, then nothing behind it. Allen now is a target in the goal square.
16 points the margin. A comment from you, Russell?
Yes, Peter, look, you just wonder, like Dennis Pagan took Shannon Grant off to talk to him personally on the bench, spoke to him for about a minute, and then he went straight back on, and that was Chatfield's man. So it just might have unsettled Grant a little. I'm not too sure what Pagan had said to him, but Chatfield kicked the goal, but you just wonder why that the coaches have to speak to the players personally when they've got the runners.
Well, that was David King bursting out of defence, and the quick kick comes down to Crocker, one of those many multi-talented players on that forward line. They've just got so many options. Players with ability on the forward line.
So that was Anderson who delivered it. So a bit of Sandover medal foot skill there.
Well, they've done statistics, and the sides with very, very strong defences have been winning the premierships in recent years. As we see Archer coming off, but you still under the blood rule. Glenn Archer is off, but you still need those multi-talented forwards to. So a good kick from Anderson down to a leading Crocker. Crocker's one of those players over the years who has been, well, he's had so many injuries, but he's still there and playing good football. From 45 metres, Darren Crocker put that on the boot beautifully. Now, did he sneak it in? He did. So, lovely kick by Crocker. That's his second.
And really has done well since coming on, started on the interchange bench. And the interchange bench is one of the difficult things that both coaches have to manage here today. In this competition, we have 6 on the interchange bench, and what you're wanting to be conscious of is giving all players a little bit of a go. And I just feel a little bit for Evan Hewitt. He started in the ruck, was shaded by Matthew Allen. Longmire has come on and done very well, and Evan Hewitt now seemingly has have to sit out the rest of the game.
Looks like Archer might have to change his jumper as well as getting mopped up on the lip. Longmire out of the middle. Here's Winston. Abraham. Beautiful kick. Anthony Stevens just 30 metres from goal. Maybe a bit more.
Tell you what, he took off hard out of that centre bounce though. As soon as North won the ball, he was scooting towards the goal and created it for him.
Now, just looking at that Carlton defence, it certainly does lack height down there without Sexton and Silvani.
Well, Abraham has set up a goal with a hand pass, and this might be another one with a foot pass. Stevens for the goal and gets it. Well, what a second quarter for the Kangaroos. They've kicked 7 goals to 2.
And really unchallenged in their forward line and becoming quite dominant there. Stevens, what a midfielder he is and has been over a number of years now for North Melbourne. A knee injury late in 1995. Really could have put a question mark on him coming back, but has come back as a most dominant player in that midfield.
"28 points the margin in favour of North. They're really turning on the power now. Porter flicks it back with the left hand. Oh, well played by Ratton. A one-on-one contest. Mickey Martin back with the flight and quite happy to tap it over the line. Just a little bit more pace than Big Allen.
Did you hear the crowd rise when Mickey was leading? They love him, don't they?
He's a real cult figure, Mick Martin. He's just so probably lacks a little bit of finesse, but he makes up for that with his endeavour. And I'll tell you what, he'd be a very hard player to play on, and you would have a sleepless night the night before. Now here's Massey on the right foot. The young player from the Dandenong Stingrays has kicked a goal. Well done to Chris Massey. A top kick under pressure.
It was. I mean, he's only had a couple of involvements in the game coming off the bench, and a big occasion for him. A young player out of the under-18s, been All-Australian both at under-16 level and under-18 level last year, and really showed some poise inside this contest. Just watch it here, ball, and just the peace of mind to lay the ball across his boot there and drag it back around on the right. Hey, touch of class in that, boy, I tell you.
Oh. He took a beautiful mark earlier, and now a great goal.
I think when the Blues gave him number 3, it was a number worn by Mike Fitzpatrick, and captaining a couple of premiership sides. I think they obviously rate him very highly. Here's Abraham knocking the ball on out in front of Roberts. Didn't get a kind bounce. Hume gets the hand pass away. Diulio centre wing. Kick by Diulio up short of the 50. Whitnell pushed out against McCartney. Free kick to Whitnell. Lance Whitnell, well, he played 18 games on debut last year, and you forget that he's still just 18 years of age. A clear free kick. And Rice now marks on the 50. It's the attacking side of the ground. The breeze would help him here.
Yeah, he needs to hit the square, Drew. You've got big Matty Allen up there. Just hit the top of the square. Well, he's gone beyond it.
That is a goal from the boundary line. Good comeback by the Blues. They're being swamped for a while. There's plenty of blue and white here. It's mainly because both teams are blue and white. But North 9-8, lead Carlton 7-4.
Well, this is a very good kick. I mean, the whole thing started there with Whitnell playing in the front position, picking up a free kick, short kick onto Rice here. There, looked for the option of Pearce, decided against that. Still had the option of Allen in the goal square, but here he goes. That's an incredible kick there from that pocket.
So the margin back to 16 points. Longmire versus Porter. Stevens has it smothered off the boot. Oh, quick hand pass comes to Scott. In towards that danger area, the full forward area, and a lovely mark taken for North Melbourne by Houlihan. And, well, he could really add something to this North Melbourne forward line. They've got the tall players, and he's a leading type full forward, but also with a bit of aerial strength.
And it's also amazing, isn't it, how he picked up a little niggly hamstring injury over the last 3 weeks, so North could hide him up the bush away from other clubs in the leading up to the draft. But he has been a very good pickup for them and has a prime opportunity here.
Well, kicking for his second from 35 metres directly in front. Well, he's hooked it. And he just sneaks it in for a behind, as a matter of fact. So if he's a true full forward, he'll be kicking himself for missing that.
Should really have kicked that in the last 2 minutes of the first half, in a very entertaining start to the Ansett Australia Cup for 1998.
Peter, he does look comfortable there though, Peter, at full forward, doesn't he, Houlihan?
Yeah, that's his position.
Yeah.
Collingwood actually tried him in a couple of games in defence.
Yeah, I think that'd be more just for the discipline reasons more than anything else, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Rice kicks in to McKay. Not only Silvani missing in defence, and Sexton. You look at Bradley, Brown, Christou, Clappe, Hickmott. There's a lot of players out.
Yeah, a lot of experience there.
Kuda looks totally different. Anthony Koutafidis kicks round the corner towards the outer side to Whitnell. Oops, one hand. And the ball out of play.
And probably David Parker not going out to address the players. He's probably just sitting back and having a really, without the pressure of coaching, having a really good look, Terry, at all these young kids to say, now, who's going to make it this year? And what can we do with the side?
There's no doubt about it. He must be mellowing as he gets older, David.
Kick smothered. That ball's not going anywhere and will be a ball up. Mind you, I'm sure all the coaches want to win because if you don't win the first round Ansett Cup game, your next series of practice matches could be anywhere in the country.
And they're tough, Drew. They are really tough. I mean, you're going away to little change rooms. You're trying to get patterns of play going on small, tight grounds. And it's a very, very difficult build-up procedure through there. So I thoroughly agree. This competition has great merits for all coaches to chase.
This ain't no country ground. This is perfect condition here, isn't it?
Well, the ground surface is fantastic. Now, taken away by little Anthony Rock. He drives it to a one-on-one contest. Good punch away by Manton because Carey really had his name written all over that. Whoa! Giulio's been flattened behind the plate. He's been totally run through. He's down. Good pass into the forward line by Pearce. Has found Charles. He was shirt-fronted right down the middle.
Anthony Rock.
What's this?
Yeah,
Ooh.
Anthony Rock right at him. Gee, we often, I don't know why, but we often see
They're called for the stretcher, by the way,
in those situations, don't we? And often that's a result of just being able to keep your eye on the ball, and Giulio certainly did that on that occasion.
Well, he was unprotected. That was the whole point. He didn't really have a chance then, Ron Giulio.
And Rock straight off the ground, replaced by Bell. So I don't know whether Pagan's having a word with Rocky over that one.
Don't know. I mean, whether they are connected, but you really can see. I mean, Rock does sort of take his eyes off the ball there, doesn't he?
Well, I don't know whether that's in the rules of the game. I mean, he'd handballed the ball away and then was charged. I know it was a split second, but I feel sorry for the player with the eyes on the ball.
No, it's not in the rules in the game because the contact's above the shoulder, isn't it? And,
but he had disposed of the ball, but then it's a split second thing, isn't it?
It is. Well, what's interesting now, I mean, we have Peter Schwab, the new umpires coach, now having match of observers at each game. And the process now at the end of each game is that they sit down with the umpires and go through the game in its entirety, looking at all instances. I think they'd have a look at that one. Then they can decide whether it's reportable or not.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
No, it's a real.
Yeah. Are we getting any better or worse? Here's Damien Locke. Lockie is one of the Carlton players who are in their what we call the PACE program, the Professional Athlete Career Education program. I mean, Carlton really leading the edge. And this week he's just completing his level 2 first aid, is Damien, so he's probably strapped himself up there and fixed the ear.
Well, let's hope Ronnie Giulio. I think that'd be a concussion for sure, and straight off on the stretcher.
I'm not sure the collision was required, but at the same time, it
was
didn't
very,
look all that bad.
No, it didn't look all that bad.
But unfortunately, some players are prone to concussion more than others. And, you know, I think Ron may be one of those. I mean, he often is collected and taken, where other players, for whatever reason, maybe they have a thicker bone structure around the cranium that protects them a little bit. I'm not sure.
Well, Ronnie Giulio is being carried off on a stretcher right in between the man with the ball, Sean Charles, and the goal to which he's kicking.
Drew, the new rule this year regarding the stretcher, that it always has been, and the rule continues on, that if you're taken off on the stretcher, you're off for 20 minutes. But this time, even if the stretcher just comes on the ground and you don't use it, you're still off the ground for 20 minutes.
Yep. Good rule. So the stretcher can't be used as a tactic. It certainly hasn't been used as a tactic there with Ronnie Giulio. Charles, 50 metres out. Well, way offline, just setting up for the forwards. Allen is there. Big punch away by Archer. Fumble by McCartney could be costly. Pearce back with the hand pass, and there's the siren. Just as Locke gets a touch. So we only had about 12 seconds of play remaining when the stretcher left the ground. And at half-time, North lead 9-9 to 7 goals 4. It's been a terrific comeback by them. They trailed by 6 points at quarter time. And up to about the halfway mark of the first quarter, were being thrashed, North, and they've really come back in that second quarter to kick 7 goals to 4. Glenn Manton was doing a top job on Carey early, but Wayne Carey in the space of a minute kicked 2 goals, and that's what champs do. But they had such options on the forward line. They had Roberts, they had Scholl. Darren Crocker came on and kicked a couple. And Houlihan has kicked 1 goal 3, 1 goal 2, and it might have been more. So at half-time here, in the first game of the Ansett Australia Cup, it's North 9-9-63, leading Carlton 7-4-46. Half-time here at North Hobart Oval. North Melbourne 9-9-63, leading Carlton 7 goals 4-46. And it's a packed crowd. And here we are in the foreground with Big Jack. G'day, John.
G'day, Drew. How are you?
I'm fantastic. You enjoying it down here?
Oh, beautiful. They're great people. It's a lovely day at the football, and we got about 10 out, and we're still only within 2 or 3 goals. We're doing all right with our team.
You made a great start.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
A couple of young kids look good.
Does it ever cease to surprise you that when you go interstate or wherever, there are Carlton fans everywhere? You just look around and the sea of blue and white down here. I know some of them are North Melbourne, but a lot of Carlton here today.
We had about 400 this morning at our brunch, and the survey we did recently shows there are 600,000 Carlton supporters in Australia. And, you know, Collingwood have got this campaign on. I think it's called Fear of Failure. And we've started ours, which is, what's it called again? Best in the business. That's us.
Best in the business. Well, there's more premierships than anybody else. So even though you've got these 600,000 supporters, you want them to all join up.
We've got to get them to join. It'd be a disgrace if Collingwood got more supporters than the Carlton Football Club, Drew. So I appeal to all the Carlton people around Australia, join up. They've got their Fear for Failure campaign, and we've got to beat them with members. Well,
we've got a number here where people can ring, and I know you've had a campaign in the Melbourne Herald Sun this morning. Interesting phone number, 1300 727981. 3 premiership years there.
3 years. We could have had another 12 numbers. Another 12 premierships.
Would have been a long phone number.
Would have been a very long phone number, Drew.
Why is it that people support a club but they don't get in numbers and actually pay up for a membership, you think?
Well, I don't know. I think a lot of people who don't go to the football don't understand. You know, we send out an awful lot of stuff for them, and we really do need them to join. Otherwise, you know, the financial success, particularly of Melbourne clubs who are fighting for a share of the market, very difficult. So we want them all to join.
Can I read anything into the fact that Parko didn't address the players today?
Parko now is so set in his job that he reckons they'll get sick of him by the end of the year, so he's letting Wayne Britton, who's a terrific reserves coach, handle the Ansett Cup.
Set in his job, but he was a bit shaky. Didn't you interview others or approach others?
Never shaky, Parko. He's the best coach in the business.
But even Parko knows that you approached a couple of others.
Well, as I said to him the other day, you know, he said, well, there's a bit of rebuilding to be done at this club. You know, we've lost all our champions. And I said, yeah, that's right, Parko, till the first game. Can rebuild the side till the first game.
So Gerard Healy and Dermot Brereton approached, offered set amounts?
Well, I don't know anything about that.
I just thought I'd throw it at you.
No, I'm just saying, we'll be there. The Blues will be there, as usual.
Good on you, John. Have a good year.
Yes.
Are you going to win today?
Well, I think if we win today, it'll be a miracle because, as I said, we've got 8 of our champions out, but I'd say we're very competitive, and that's what's important, and we give our young kids a go. And I can say, Drew, you should have been sent to Japan. That might have lifted the ratings a bit to have a good commentator like you up there. They only sent the second raters up.
Go on, Jack. Give us a cigarette, will you? John Elliott to the applause of his fans here at North Hobart Oval. And now we're going to the North Rooms. Here's Russell Morris.
Thanks, Drew. What a way to diffuse the situation with John Elliott. That's sensational stuff. Here in the North Melbourne rooms, I think the Dennis Pagan might have been, on the whole players would have been surprised by Carlton's enthusiasm in that first term. But as I said, in the progress of that second quarter, he got stuck into them at quarter time. He mentioned that they're a more professional unit. They had to be refocused. They had to follow the team rules as far as punching from behind, front and centre, more movement in the forward line. I want to make a special note that when John Longmire moved into the ruck, I think the whole thing turned around. Anthony Stevens started to get a lot of the ball. Wayne Carey kicked a couple of goals in that second term. So, as John Elliott mentioned, Carlton have got a lot of young kids in that side, and Stephen Kernan also mentioned that they were very, very impressed by the enthusiasm in that first term. However, the professionalism of North Melbourne's won about. Another thing, that's another point that the North Melbourne officials were very concerned over that incident with Anthony Rock and Ronnie Giulio. But they've been looking at the video, and obviously when the things are shown in slow motion, it looks a lot worse than it really is. But anyway, North Melbourne for me, and they should win by 5 or 6 goals.
Good on you. Thanks, Russell. And it's North by 17 points at half-time, and we'll be back at North Hobart after a short break. North by 17 points at half-time, 9-9-63 leading Carlton, 7 goals for 46. The sun's starting to break out here now in Hobart, and it's quite mild conditions for the opening game of the Ansett Australia Cup for 1998. Now, AFL 98, it's an exciting new computer game for the footy fanatic. This is a ripper for you. It features spectacular marks, the big tackles, TV replays, stats, and realistic action. Bruce McAvaney, before he went away to Japan, did all the commentary. AFL 98 from EA Sports. Fantastic, lifelike action for the footy fanatic. And the boys out to begin the second half. Let's have a look at some of the team statistics for the first half. And firstly, North. Wheels?
they'll be heavily weighted towards the second quarter, Drew, without any doubt at all, when they've kicked 7-7 to just the 4 goals. Carey started to get into the play a little bit, a couple of goals. You know, a good spread of goal scorers, 7 goal scorers there, just Carey and Crocker there with 2 apiece. And so really it's been a very good turnaround there for North Melbourne during that second quarter.
Now Diesel Williams is out there with Russell Morris.
Thanks, Drew. Yeah, Diesel, how do you feel being around the club and not playing anymore?
Oh, not too bad. As I said, I've obviously retired and I'm looking forward to life after footy. But actually, I just came out of the race and nearly kept going with the players, which is a bit of a worry.
What is your role? You mentioned obviously something to do with skills.
Yeah, I'm skills coach and I'm working with Kernahan and trying to help the boys with their skills. That's my role, and I'm enjoying it.
But very time-consuming around the club. Long meetings, match committee decisions.
Oh, not so much the match committee, but just helping with a few strategy things that trying to help the team play a bit better.
Now, mate, I noticed when you walked around the boundary, all the North Melbourne supporters, they gave you a cheer, really friendly reception.
Yeah, they still boo me, even when I've retired. So hopefully that'll wear thin. Hopefully.
When you say wear thin, what about this? You're losing it a bit up there.
No, I've got no ear left.
No more pressure involved, though.
No, it's a lot more relaxed. No doubt about that.
I hope you enjoy yourself. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Greg Williams there with Russell, and now the Carlton stats in the first half. Wills?
Well, one of the things when you come off speaking to Greg Williams, you look immediately at the handball stats, because that's where he was most dominant, and that's what he started for the Carlton side in the middle of the ground so often. And really, they haven't had that flow and run. Their first 15 minutes of the game, they did have it. They were spinning the ball through the midfield, but have really dropped off that. Some good contributors. Dean Rice has been very solid right throughout. Scotty Camporelli on the wing. Kutafi's a little bit quiet early.
Second half about to get underway with umpire Gavin Dorr. Allen goes hard at it. Longmire still on the ball for the Kangaroos. McKay's hand pass comes out wide. Kick up towards 50. McCartney just about lifted his elbow, but a good tackle by Charles. Carlton back into attack. Mick Martin gets rid of his opponent Pearce, and away goes Mighty Mick for the monster kick. Half back to half forward. Carey in front, spoiled by Manton. Carey at ground level tries to re-win the ball. The umpire will have to ball it up.
Don't know about Brad Pearce there trying to do some body work on Mickey Martin.
No.
You've picked the wrong rock at Gibraltar there.
Yeah, it's just too strong, Mick Martin, in a one-on-one. He's just got to use his pace if he can. Allen and Longmire. Carey over the back to Scott. Brilliant play by Carey. Robert Scott set sail for goal and has just missed. So behind on the board to start this third term to North.
Lapse in concentration there from the Carlton defence. They should never let a small player of Scott's calibre be free behind the contest.
And Dean Rice chips it across to Hogg. The hand pass comes to Chatfield. Back it comes to Hogg. Over the top, McKay, and eventually it's forced over the line. And, well, getting involved again for Carlton was Damien Locke with that bandage around his head. He figured there twice in handballs, and he looked good early too. He's going to be a good player.
I think he's going to be a really good player. Bendigo under-18s recruit, spent 97 in the reserves. Just a 19-year-old. This will be a ball up from the boundary throw-in. Now, John Elliott said it'd be a miracle if Carlton could win with the number of players they have missing. See how they go early. Ratton, a good hand pass. Hogg dragged down, the good tackle by Scott. Carey trying to wrestle his way free as he holds it. The crowd said ball, and Carey got himself free and got the kick in. Was that holding the ball?
Oh, certainly holding the ball. The umpire put his whistle to his mouth 3 times, I think, and kept letting him go. That's holding the ball there now.
That is definitely.
And now it plays on.
That's an amazing decision.
Incredible.
Jamie Love made a very bad error there.
Well, maybe the umpire's feeling their way early in the season, just like the players and the commentators are. I tell you, he's looked good, Byron Pickett. The kick up towards half forward. Houlihan couldn't quite drag in the mark. He gets some assistance from teammates. They get it inside 50. Chatfield for Carlton. Spun round on the tackle by Chandler. That's holding the ball. Well, he had half a second. Carey had a minute.
I don't think he did have time to get rid of that. The young kid is appealing to the umpire. He picked it up, bang. Now, surely that's not holding the ball, Terry.
No, I'm with you, Peter. I mean, if you're going to sit on a comparative basis, the Wayne Carey one versus that, Carlton have been dudded here twice.
Well, the experienced player gets let off, holds it for 5 minutes. The young kid in his first game gets pinged. So the kick from Chandler from directly in front looks pretty good. It's a goal.
Well, two strange decisions in the space of a couple of minutes there.
And I am not sure whether there was the same umpire in both, but they were at the same end of the ground, so a fair chance. I mean, that's a very quick tackle. Young Adam Chatfield just gathered the ball, came up upright, and then be able to spin. No, it wasn't the same umpire in both, but and that acts the inconsistency for players, definitely.
Well, a vital goal in this third term after an unbelievable couple of umpiring decisions. I think Peter Swab might have a look at those ones. We see Camporelli receive from Allen down towards half-forward. That strong North defence. Blakey's back on the ground and he heads towards the boundary line. Mark Roberts is there and Stevens. Well, he didn't disguise it too well, but he has got away with it with a hand pass over the line. So it's way out there, halfway between centre wing and half-forward for Carlton.
Half-forward for Carlton as we have the boundary throw-in. Freshman interviewing the Prez. Kick smothered, comes back into the pack. Gee, they're working in tight quarters. Longmire to Roberts. Kick by Roberts. Hamill caught underneath the ball. There's Chandler. Is that high?
Whoa.
Free kick to Chandler for the high tackle.
She's a hard worker, but Chandler.
No doubt about that. I mean, he spent his time at Fitzroy, 28 games at Fitzroy for 1 win. Last year comes to North Melbourne, plays in 14. Bit of a change for him.
Carey juggles and marks right in front, 35 metres from goal. Johnny Manton not too happy with the mark being paid.
I think he said it was touched. I think he was trying to tell the umpire. Not so sure about that.
Try and sell anything to the umpire in that situation, I think, Pete.
I think it was touched by the man in front.
Yeah, but that's such a fine line, isn't it? It's a tough one to call, and really, if you're going to get rid of the ball, you need to get your fist in there and just thump it away. Now, see, Glenn Manton should have been much closer to Carey there and be able to get a fist in over the top as the ball bounced up the second time.
Well, you can see Crocker just about wringing his fingers. He touched it, right? Well, Carey not only brought his own ball, he brought his umpires as well. Crowd not too happy with Carey as we look right behind him. Easy kicks for his third, gets it. Well, North have had a bit of a purple patch here in the space of 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah, the Carlton hierarchy, David Parkin, the senior coach, Wayne Britton, the actual coach for today. David Parkin has stepped back and allowed Wayne that role here today. They really needed to send their players out to capture something very, very early in this second half, but at the moment it's been North Melbourne who've taken that chance.
Well, a handy couple of goals to North, but a little bit of luck involved in both of them. That was certainly touched by Crocker on the way through. As we see Longmire against Allen, Anthony Stevens soccers off the ground. Justin Murphy will mop up at half-back and drive it long, way out to half-forward. Pearce and Martin. And Martin again, it became a body-on-body, Terry, and just too strong.
And after the body-on-body, Pete, the significant part was Mickey Martin then stepped forward and attacked the ball for the last metre.
So half-forward for North. Murphy, a chance to drive it out again. Gives it across to Hogg. Hogg to half-forward. They haven't got a lot of height down there, Carlton. And the North players, they're very good in this situation. Now, in that situation, if another North player jumped on that ball as well and they locked it in tandem, they can have a free kick given against them under the new rule.
It's an interesting concept, isn't it? In actual fact now, it's a free kick against the side rather than against an individual. So that if two North Melbourne players dive in onto the ball, neither is really holding in, but collectively they are. It is a free kick against them.
Charles pops up a hand pass. Well done, Pearce. Palmed on Camporelli to Hogg. Back from McKay. Pearce again off the left. He loves it there. He's put it across the front of goals for behind.
I haven't got his behind tally. Three. And I would suggest that the majority of them have been curling away to that outer side where the breeze has been able to influence it. A key forward like Brad Pearce should have assessed that by now and be really working the left-hand side of the left-hand goalpost.
Sam Smart on the ground having his first run for the Blues, number 25, the Doctor.
Yes, and that's unusual in modern-day football for someone who's graduated in medicine to be playing AFL football. Well, good mark.
Gee, this bloke's going to be
Winston
good,
Abraham on to McCartney. Jason McCartney drives to half. There was no one there for North. All the forwards had come out on the lead. Manton across to Allen. Allen drives it out to Dean Rice. It's wide of him. Oh, the bounce is important. Well played by Rice to lock it in. Stevens, he's also in there after it. In the early 50s, the Cordner brothers, there was a couple of doctors there, the famous Cordner brothers at Melbourne, but since then there hasn't been too many.
Matty Liptak, he's on the way. From the boundary throw in, Ratton, 10 possessions in the first half, gets it along the boundary line and is taken over the line by Andrew Borkwell and will have a throw in. Borkwell from Central Districts in South Australia, played one senior game last year. Big leap over the top by Massey, the youngster. Comes down to the front, absolutely swamped as Hume. He's holding it. North free. Goes to Abraham. Inside the 50 quickly. Crocker, oh, magnificent mark. Don't tell me he's hurt again.
Oh, he's gone straight for that left knee.
I hope that's just always...
Oh, no.
Come on. Up you get, mate. Up you get. Here it is. He pushes back. I mean, eyes for the ball and just back onto...
Oh, could be cramp.
Well, Hogg was entitled to be pretty injured out of that. He was pushed by Chandler and into the road. And Dean Rice was hit pretty hard.
They're calling for the stretcher, Drew.
Oh, no. And Darren Crocker is not going to be able to take his kick. Well, this is a tragedy for Darren Crocker because the man's career has just been ruined by injury.
We just look at his last 3 years, Drew. A knee injury back in '95 just held him out to only 3 games for that season. '96, it was hamstring problems, held him back. Then last year, groins. Didn't come back really until late in the season.
He's in a lot of pain too.
Chandler takes the kick that was earned by Crocker. He's offline, but Carey marks. No mark paid. The ball's gone over the boundary line for throwing. Carey saying that was a mark. In the meantime, Darren Crocker.
Oh, he's so upset too. That is just such tragedy for a terrific young guy.
And he'd been so injury-free in the pre-season.
Yeah.
They were really looking forward to him having a good run. Here's a soccer goal into the post.
Well, your heart goes out to Darren Crocker. Let's hope it's just a jarred knee and it's not not anything more serious than that, because he's had a shocking run. There's young Chris Massey racing after it. Just touched it before it went over the line. Well, he's saying he did. He said to the umpire, I touched that.
Well, for years, the rhyming slang for a shocker has been Barry Crocker, but it might now become Darren Crocker. Because it's synonymous with it, having a shock.
Now, this is Brett Chandler firing at a goal. I think it's another one to North. It is. Well, it's raining goals now, Terry.
No doubt about it. I mean, here's Chandler. He's bobbed now with 2 goals just in this third quarter. But really, the whole Darren Crocker situation, that's the one thing that coaches really dread and hate about this competition here, that you've been able to nurse a player through, a pre-season, get him up, and something untoward happens.
Three goals to nil this quarter for North, but it's not all good news. Crocker is off. Russell Morris?
Yeah, he was going into the rooms, Drew, but he did get a knock against the outside of his left knee, so obviously that might have strained the ligament on the inside. Obviously not good news. The doctors are taking him into the rooms, obviously, to get him ice it up, but you never know until probably after 24 hours after the ice has had a chance to keep the swelling down and then look at it under better conditions. But a knock on the outside of his left knee, so hopefully it's no bad internal damage, but maybe it's just a strained ligament.
didn't look like the sort of collision or fall that should have twisted a knee, so hopefully it's not all that bad. Let's hope so. Terrific fella, Darren Crocker, too. There's Abraham, who's magnificent with his hands. Ball inside 50. Archer!
Just watching Winston Abraham there, Drew had cause to speak to David Whedon during the week about Aboriginal footballers, and the phrase he used was that they understand real estate, that they understand what's going on around them, the ground that's around them and close. They have a real feel for what's happening, and you can see that in Winston Abraham's game. Has that sense of what's going on around and being able to fire out either the quick handball, step this way or step that way, break the trouble and get out and get the ball flowing.
I think he might enjoy it at North Melbourne too.
Certainly will. 6 goals, the margin now in favour of North. As the Blues go forward to the half-forward line, Sean Charles playing the ball in front of him. Still got it. Oh, look at that gang tackling of North Melbourne, for which they're very much renowned. And one of those players in there was Byron Pickett, formerly of Port Adelaide. And
he's done some good things, hasn't
well,
he?
he got the congratulations of his teammates then for effort. Allen and Longmire. Allen with the height. Quick kick taken by Roberts towards the half-forward line. Punched away by Chandler. Knocked on by Hamill and over the line.
Some of the most brilliant football I ever saw play was by the Cracker brothers for North, but they didn't play in premierships. These two blokes have a chance with the strength that's around. I mean, they did win the flag just 2 years ago. They might do something the Crackers weren't able to manage. Koutafidis. Blakey at the back looking for the boundary line and successfully finding it.
Gee, he doesn't weary or age, does he, John Blakey? Keeps churning out great games of footy. Sitting on 249 games at AFL. It's not a bad record.
Longmire working Allen out of that. And the breeze is across the grounds, virtually straight across the ground, so we're seeing a fair bit of play on the outer boundary line. You can see the windsock there blowing away from us here in the commentary box. So it's a northerly, not coming from the Derwent, blowing out to sea. Clever by Camporelli. Oh, Brad Pearce on the move, but a wobbly old kick which finds the target. Didn't look like a goal off the boot, but he gets his first goal for the day after 3 previous misses with a very ugly looking kick.
It really didn't have the look about it that it needed. His previous kicks had all spun well, but he had enough room and time to settle. Perhaps the late charge from King from front on was just enough to put off a little bit, but the wobble did favour Brad Pearce on this occasion to pick up his first.
So young Ben Thompson has come onto the ground for the Blues wearing number 41. Well, that's in the back, must be to Andrew McKay, and the umpire has not missed it. So it's given across there to Damien Locke to the half-forward line. The big punch was from Blakey, very disciplined player. Hand pass comes back to Locke. It was given by Ratton, and eventually it's forced over the line. So there he is, number 41 that I mentioned a moment ago, Ben Thompson from the under-18s in Queensland.
Queenslander, yep. Picked up in the October national draft.
It looks like, so he's got the Queensland suntan too. Oh, well done by Winston Abraham to Peter Bell. To the half-forward line, some good, strong work by all the players down there. Kicked away by Hamill. He's got support from Chris Massey, who picks it up near the boundary line and drives it long to half-forward, but beautifully judged there by David King. He's a champion player with Port Melbourne in the old VFA, now called the VFL. Now, what's the news on Darren Crocker, Russell?
Yes, Peter, look, if by having his knee knocked on the outside, it may have strained the medial ligament, which is on the inside of his leg. If it's not torn, it'll only be about a 4 or 5 week layoff, but if it is torn, it'll have to be immobilised, and it may be up to 10 or 12 weeks. But let's hope that it's not as bad for his sake, because obviously he's been around a long time and lost a lot of games with injury. As Winston Abraham swings around and just misses the goals, but yeah, not really good news for Darren Crocker. He's gone through a lot of tough times, but could be a medial ligament injury. As John Longmire is now limping off the ground, maybe it's just a tiredness because he's been rucking most of the day since the quarter time. And a replacement, number 21 for North Melbourne, the young kid, Evan Hewitt.
So the ball inside 50, but going nowhere, and the umpire will ball it up. So I hate to see people limping at this time of the year. Crocker certainly not looking good. Longmire coming off. 6 on the interchange, but they're now down to 1 short. North outmarking Carlton 9-1 this quarter.
It's a significant stat, isn't it, Drew? And a lot of those have been good, strong, clean marks. That's one of the things North are renowned for, is their marking power.
Carlton under the pump here. Hamill swings the ball out. Was that a hand pass? Well, Thompson takes it for the Blues. Clears the 50, but not to his team's advantage. Here's David King bursting the tackle. Kick the goal, son. He has.
Oh.
Typical David King. Get in my way at your peril.
That's just great stuff, isn't it? I mean, just so aggressive. It's as if this ball's mine. Excuse me, that's my space. I'm coming through there. And he's able to buy himself on that run. You know, the one bounce, he's covered his 30 metres and then got himself right inside range and finished it off. No wonder that boy was runner-up best and fairest last year.
Well, one of the biggest assets you can have in football is natural pace. And David King would be as quick running with the ball than any footballer playing AFL, and that's why he was able to shrug off that tackle. And a beautiful kick on the run. He just steadied himself to put that through, and he is an exciting player.
I mean, what he does, Peter, he puts immense pressure on the opposition forward lines, doesn't he? You know, that any time he gets it, he is going to be quite prepared to take on the opposition through the midfield.
So Jacob Anstey is back on the ground. Young Locke was there, taken away by Scott towards half forward. Carey, cleverly done out the Pike. That was a brilliant hand pass. Pike goes for goal. I think it's through. Brilliant play by Carey to Pike.
So the option that Dennis Pagan has got now is just take his forward line off the ground. They are not needed. The backmen are now doing it. King gets one, Pike gets another. What it indicates is that they are now really generating run from behind the ball. There's some great work here, and the eventual flick on out here by Carey to Pike. Pike is in the right position because he's prepared to run hard from the defensive side of the ball that's behind it.
Well, North Melbourne now have 10 different goal kickers, and they're streaming down the ground and kicking them from everywhere. Out of the middle, Anthony Stevens, and here's Carey again. And that's Chris Groom this time. And it's good to see Groom back after a long period out of the game through injury. And how many options have they got, North Melbourne? It's unfair.
They just keep pulling these big blokes, don't they? And the thing about them, they're quite mobile. Chris Groom, it's been a long time between drinks for him. He spent some 18 months out of the game as a result of a knee injury. Just returned mid-season last year to finish the year in the reserves. Here's an opportunity for him to start to make a name in the forward line.
Hooked it.
So maybe it's a name in the back line, Drew.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't a good run-in, was it?
At his third club for just 21 league games, Chris Groom. 2 knee reconstructions. So we wish him well, but he needs to kick better than that.
As we watch Dean Rice bring it in again. Oh, dangerous, but a lovely mark by Koutafidis with the dark hair this year. So Anthony Koutafidis drives it wide with a well-weighted kick. And Ben Thompson's taken a nice mark. Thompson to half forward. Pickett at the back, punches away from Charles. Here's Locke. Locke's kicking it in short. Good
great
lead.
Kick. Great kick, great everything, Peter, was good.
Yeah, and good lead there by Pearce. He was able to use his pace and get away from Martin. And on this small ground, it sort of plays into the hands of a bloke like Mickey Martin.
Oh, definitely. I mean, what Pearce did well there was he started well back into the forward line, and then was able to have a long lead. That gave Damien Locke sufficient time to be able to pick the lead and hit him with the left foot. He must kick this. Well,
he stabs at it and it floats through for a goal for his second.
He's kicked 2 goals this quarter with the worst looking kicks you have ever seen.
Be good to ask Sticks how the skills coaching's going. That's the product just at the moment. I mean, he is a good, technically a sound kick is Brad Pitt. A little bit of a, I think, a soft spot where he veers out too far on the left, but that was a good straight approach. But the last two, he hasn't dropped well at all.
And he'll be dangerous on the bigger grounds. So grounds like Waverley and MCG where he can lead to the space.
Yeah, kicked just 16 goals last year after 52 in the premiership year 2 years ago. It's now 3 years ago. Bell. North back into attack. Which forward will get it this time? Carlton backman. Kuda. Across the half-back line he goes. Looks good, young Chris Massey. But he's lost it here to Stevens, whose will for the ball is just fantastic. Short pass to the pocket. Oh! Some mark by Manton. I bet a few of the crowd thought they were going to have him in their lap. What a mark by Johnny Manton.
Johnny Manton, Glenn Manton, and
that's Glenn Manton.
Remember, Johnny Manton was the old Richmond player, and I think he had a stint at Essendon too.
I must have a better memory than I thought.
Hand pass comes across here to Jacob Ansett. Ansett up in the air to the half-forward line. Over the back is Charles. Oh, he maybe shouldn't have given that off, but it might come off Camporelli. Back, oh gee, he probably should have kept going, Sean Charles. Lock. Here's Ansett. Oh, off the side of the boot and out on the full. He just hurried when he didn't have to.
Yeah, poor selection there from Sean Charles. He was the one that was running straight onto goal. He was the one who should have been the kicker, either to score the goal or put it up towards Pearce and Martin.
First 50-metre penalty of the day.
Buys a fair bit of ground on this particular track.
That gets you from full back to wing.
Yep.
Here's Mighty Mick. Short of the 50. Excellent mark taken by Whitnell. Well, when they need players on the forward line to be kicking goals, players like Lance Whitnell find themselves back at half-back. Here's a bloke who might be able to do something for them. And a chance for Sam Smart, the doctor, who marks too far out to score. Now to full forward. Murphy waits. And Archer just grasps the ball and nearly forces the air out.
But Drew, the way he arched his back in mid-air and then held the ball in front of him, so there was no chance for the defender to punch it, for the forward to punch it away, who was trying to. So centre wing, Carey rushes at the ball and forces it over the line, way out there on centre wing.
The Carlton forward line is still just too one-dimensional in this game. Pearce is the only one there as a target, and he's a leading target. They have got a number of smaller players. Then there's Murphy, there's Charles, there's Camporelli. But what they haven't got is a tall player from under which they can work. I think big Sam Smart at centre-half forward should be playing back, probably about 40 metres out from goal, and just forming a contest for the smalls to work underneath.
Well, he's got himself a free kick here, Sam Smart, for holding the man against Peter Bell.
And that's where I think he's just too far up the ground, Pete. I mean, he should be now the one forming the contest underneath this kick of his own.
So
he'll have to run hard.
It's a very crowded forward line, which often is at this North Hobart Oval. That's to the wrong side of the ground. David King is there, and also Peter Bell, and uncontested David Park and Wayne Britton wouldn't like that.
Well, the breeze got that. That was a ripping breeze at the time. Back to centre wing, a huge pack. Who's got it in there? Eventually comes out through Manton to Rice. He's in trouble. Had to give the hand pass to no one. Great pick up by David King. Pickett. Pike. Carey in the goal square. Gets back one out with Kuda. They're joined by two others, and Whitnell punches away. The whistle's gone. It's a Carlton free kick against Carey for Koutafidis.
Really, Wayne just really got out-bustled in that one. That front position being very well held there, and just a bit of frustration there, slinging him out of the way.
Ball comes down to Locke, front of the pack, but he's given it straight up to McCartney. Jason McCartney with the Adelaide Crows last year. Kicks towards centre-half forward. Carey once again. Punched down by Whitnell. Has been prominent in defence, but has been up there a lot. Oh, good mark. That's a terrific mark. Is dragged down here by Porter.
Yes, it certainly was a great mark. And another kick slightly off the side of the boot, and that's just enough to allow Pike to take an uncontested mark. But they're struggling up forward, the Blues. A lack of height. Allen's gone down there now to try and remedy that situation. The bounce of the ball will see this over the line before Brett Chandler can get there.
It's a disappointing kick there from Martin Pike. I mean, every player who has a set kick, I think their bottom line responsibility is just have the ball spin correctly. You know, it doesn't really matter how far you put it down the track. As long as it's spinning well and it's got good direction. That was really sloppy.
Half forward line for North. That quick was by Josh Robertson. Taken by King, no chance to get rid of it. Umpire calls play on, a quick hand pass. Comes out to Pickett, Charles runs him down. Well played, Sean Charles.
Squared the ledger from earlier.
Ansett. Ansett can run inside 50, an open goal looms. He needs it to bounce through, it goes through on the full, great goal. Full marks to Sean Charles there, Terry.
It squared the ledger because it was Charles early in the game was doing the run, and Byron Pickett was the one to stop him. But this time it's Charles who does the work on Pickett. Turnover, and Ansett has shown in his games last year to be very neat around goals. He's wanting now to add more work in the midfield into his game, but very neat around goal, Jake.
Well, you've got people like Maurice Green in the country at the moment for the series of track and field meetings, but it's hard to imagine anybody being faster than Sean Charles was then. Here's Craig Shaw running into an open goal and getting it within seconds of the centre bounce. His second goal, and North have topped the ton.
Centre bounces, I mean, they're critical on all grounds in Australian rules football, but you play these smaller games, and if you've got the grounds and you've got the half forwards well up and that space is there, how quick goals can be scored. And that North Melbourne example was a perfect one there. Scholl being able to run onto the loose ball, no one in front of him, head over the ball, kicked it low right through the centre. Yes,
and gee, the wind seems to have come up very, very strongly. All of a sudden people are going for their hats in the crowd that have blown off. And you mentioned about that kicking low. That is an important thing. Running in, any young player watching, when you run into an open goal and there's a lot of breeze around, you drive it hard but low, because the higher you go, the more margin for error.
One of the great little goal sneaks out at the Western Oval, Georgie Bissett, when he coached, always said just kick it low and let it bounce in the square. If you've kicked it hard enough, she'll bounce on through.
Oh, you'd like to go to war with that Anthony Stevens. He is in that centre of that pack and burrowing and fighting. He is a terrific little player, Stevens.
You saw the shot of the windsock. This wind really is howling now at North Hobart. And there's Anthony Stevens just at the back of the umpire for the ball up.
And Drew, just away to our right, the rain clouds have settled in over Mount Wellington. So that looks like the fly's getting the umbrella out and borrowed from the taxi driver.
We'd hate to see Russell Morris get wet, wouldn't we?
Can't see the top of Mount Wellington there, so it doesn't look too good. Cab driver predicted rain.
Yep.
Winston. Oh, the hand pass missed the target. Pickett tackled when he didn't have it. Umpire. Charles gets the hand pass up. Chance for Camporelli. Great tackle by Pike. Absolutely buried him. And the ball's gone out of bounds on the full. And it'll be a North free kick to be taken by Abraham from the back pocket. He quickly takes it. Gets it to the 50. Massey, number 3, under the ball. Couldn't take the mark. Scott, a little hand pass. They're working it out of defence. McCartney. And there's the siren for three-quarter time. The third term dominated by North, during which they kicked 6 goals to 3 and have a pretty comfortable lead at the last change. Plenty of North fans here, as well as Carlton. And well, we get around the country a bit doing football, and it's amazing how teams based in Melbourne can have supporters all over the country. And there's certainly plenty of supporters here today.
And I think, Drew, the supporters have really been treated to some good football. I mean, the Carlton club is quite undermanned in senior experience here today, undermanned in the height department, but there have been some great pluses, I think, on an individual level from some of the performances of those younger players. Whereas, on the other hand, North Melbourne, a very, very strong lineup. You know, they are showing that they are pitching themselves for this Ansett Cup in 1997.
They went in as favourites and they're looking a good thing at the moment. North 15-12 to the Blues 10-5. At three-quarter time, North Melbourne leading by 37 points, 15-12, 102 to 10 goals 5, 65. Well, here we are, the first match of the Ansett Australia Cup and the start of the season 1998, and the footy record's out next week. It'll be on sale from Tuesday onwards at newsagents for $5. 3 different covers in Western Australia, Chris Mainwaring on the cover. In South Australia, it'll be Darren Jarman, the man who won the grand final last year, and in all other states, it'll be Corey McKernan on the cover. $5 at newsagents from Tuesday onwards, the footy record souvenir edition to start the season. Russell.
Yes, Drew, with all interstate games, we always have our dedicated supporters that come interstate. We've got Auntie Grace from North Melbourne. Auntie Grace, obviously you enjoy the Northers. Why'd you come in today?
Oh, just to watch North play and win.
Why the dedication? Why do you want to spend so much money flying interstate?
Oh, just to get my adrenaline pumping again.
How else do you normally get your adrenaline pumping? Sorry, back to you, Drew.
Thank you very much. Interesting question. Never got the answer. Well, about to start the final quarter here. And North, after a sluggish start, have got themselves into winning position. But still 20 minutes plus time on to go. It has been great to have the footy back. We've seen injuries, player carried off on a stretcher after perhaps a controversial collision. Porter, number 11, he goes up against the youngster who beats him, Hewitt. Comes to McKay. Kick goes out wide. Charles and Pickett have been a terrific duel. And the ball out of play.
I think for Byron Pickett, it's been a very good game. He's been able to gather some possessions, starting to look more comfortable inside the game. His one game last year was a tough ask of him. It was the MCG in a night game, forward pocket against Brad Scholl at Geelong, and his instructions were to keep Scholl out of the game. Byron didn't get much of a sniff that night.
North working the ball around. Elbow up from Robert Scott, but the whistle had gone before that incident. And it's to be a free kick to Peter Bell, who takes it quickly, goes towards the outer centre wing. And Anthony Stevens, what a goer. Just 100% motion the whole time. Kick by Stevens inside half forward. Manton got his hands to the ball, shoulder hand pass back, a little bit high. And that's not coming out, a ball up.
Well, young John Hines from the Pran Dragons had a nice little introduction to the game.
Thanks for coming.
Russell Morris is down on the boundary line.
Yes, Peter, look, the Carlton match committee obviously very, very pleased with the endeavour of the youngsters, but I think their disposal has been letting them down. Like, there's a kick that Thompson put into, tried to alleviate the pressure out of the back line, allowing King to kick a goal. There was the Ansett into the forward line, Smart and Porter. Very poor disposal by these young kids are allowing North Melbourne to take control. So I think if we just watch this kick here, obviously, it's no real direction. Like, the forwards are leading, but they're not really giving them an enormous chance, as you would know, Peter. You've got to have the ball kicked in front of you, in front of the lead into open space, and it's making it very, very difficult for the forwards like Pearce and Allen and Whitnell. So I think from that point of view, Carlton youngsters have got to really improve on their disposal.
I've actually played on this ground, Drew, a couple of times many years ago, and it is really a difficult ground for forwards. As we see Camporelli blazing a goal, he needed a right-hand break. He puts it through for a behind, but it is a small ground as compared to a lot of AFL grounds, and narrow wings, and not really a full forward or centre forwards ground.
I would imagine most of the time the wind would be ripping in off the river rather than a northerly going the other way. Up short of centre wing, Whitnell got one hand to it. It comes to the front. Kick by Bell. Oh, one-handed by Manton. Well, in one game of football, has gone from John Manton to Glenn. Hand pass back from Borkwell to Rice. That was Koutafidis to Rice. Rice gave it up to Stevens. Short pass, unmarked in the forward pocket. Scholl over the top, uncontested. Winston. Winston Abraham gets his first goal. Maybe it could be the start of a bit of a career for Winston Abraham in his new colours.
Yeah, I mean, he was just ended up being in the right spot here. What he did, he had his opponent out in front of him, and as his opponent was watching the ball, Winston dropped on off. You know, it's a hard one for a coach, you know, because more often than not you want your players to run at the ball, but Winston just gently dropped it off the pace of the ball, ran away from it, but received the handball. This has been a good game for him, and the longer it goes and the longer this series goes for North Melbourne and he in it, he'll get a lot better.
He is going to love it on that North Melbourne forward line, because he'll be a perfect foil for those big high marking players, particularly when McKernan comes back as well. Oh, that was almost a throw by Camporelli. Taken away by Ratton. Ratton drives it low and he kicks it straight to Pickett. But Abraham, I'm tipping, will be a very, very dangerous goal sneak this year for North. There's McKay. Camporelli has it taken away. Scott did some good bullocking work there. Chandler, centre of the ground. Here's Pike. Just a little bit slow to get rid of it. Rock. Here's Abraham again. Oh, beautiful kick on the standing. Carey at the back. Got it. Chips it back. Waiting for the bounce. And it rolls and just misses. But that was cleverly done by Carey. He was against two.
Yep, he just had them just edge themselves underneath the ball and judging the float of the ball. And that's very difficult. I mean, the windsock is still well stretched out, so the wind blowing across the ground, making judgment difficult, but Carey very good on that occasion.
Good spoil by Grant from behind. Set up Roberts. Grant got it back, but then fumbled. Hand pass by Smart to Rice. Good tackle by Rock. Well done by Grant.
Ooh.
Whitnell playing in half back for the Blues now. And a very thin forward line for them. Here's Camporelli. Maybe they can get some running goals from centre wing. Charles gets underneath the ball, and Pickett has had a day out. Across half back he goes, switching direction to David King. He's nearly in goal scoring distance here, nearly in the back pocket. Oh, it's very well played. Oh. Archer blocked the hand pass, and the ball's gone out of play.
That was a brilliant spoil, wasn't it?
It certainly was. I mean, Archer, you had him hemmed up, had young John Hines hemmed up against the boundary line, so I knew he was always going to come in. You see, the left hand had the back of him, but then the right hand around in the direction of the ball was always going to be handballed out. Well done, Glenn Archer.
Half forward for the Blues. Oh, brilliant hand pass by Chandler as he gets it across to Mark Roberts. Back to Scott. Roberts waiting for the bounce. Just gets his boot to it, bends it back. Oh, here's the danger man, Carey. Oh, hand pass at Winston. Abraham was off before he took the ball. Taken away by Koutafidis. Little chip pass. He finds Justin Murphy. Another chip pass further afield, finds Camporelli. This is a good build-up. He's got to start moving it now. Keeps it low in towards half-foot. Stevens is there, but taken by Ratton, who drives at goal from 45 metres. Good play by the Blues. This looks good. It's a goal.
Well, Brett Ratton, a bit of a quiet time in the midfield, and perhaps has spent some time on the interchange bench. I'm not that sure on that, but he hasn't been as dominant as he normally is. But again, working hard in there, and that sort of skill needs to be continually added to quality midfielders' games. Being able to step off, kick a goal, second for today, is a good return from him.
That's now 1 goal each in the last quarter. North still with a pretty handy lead.
Good ruck work there.
That was fantastic ruck work by Porter. But Rock now back to Archer. And after a bit of a stumble, Stevens takes the mark.
Porter's going to be important this year, Drew. If he can continue to develop as a ruckman, that then allows him to float Matty Allen down into the forward line where the big man can be quite dangerous.
Rock thought about going on, thought better of it. Back to Stevens. In the direction of Carey, who works to the front. Koutafidis slipped down, and Wayne Carey has it on the attacking side of the ground. And even though he's outside 50, if he aims it about the left-hand goalpost, he's not without a chance, the King. Making his mark.
Our own Mike Sheehan from Talking Footy rated him this morning in the Melbourne Sun the best player in the competition.
There's not too many arguments from me, Peter.
Well, I'd like to say James Hird, wouldn't I?
Oh, sure, yeah. It's very hard to
line.
split those guys, isn't it? I mean, their quality, and this guy does it quite often.
And Rob Harvey, of course.
Carey's kick 3. It gets away on the breeze, out to the right-hand side, and flips off the hands through for a minor score.
The thing about Wayne Carey to date is that, you know, his marking is continuing to come on. When we saw him return after some 12 weeks out with that shoulder injury last year, there was at times some hesitation, perhaps wasn't getting his arm up as high as he should. He certainly looks a lot freer now after having spent another summer on weights and rehabilitation.
So Matthew Hogg, McKay used his body beautifully, just couldn't quite hang on to it, and it rolls over the line. Number 17, you see on screen, is Damien Locke from the Bendigo under-18s. The North Melbourne bench is Johnny Longmire on the right, looking on pensively. 50-metre mark for North. Have this game well under control. Here's Roberts. Oh, brilliant kick on the left foot. That was top quality play, and so was that mark by Manton. Fantastic.
He's become an aerialist.
Well, he's taken a high one and that low one.
Yeah. I mean, the thing was, he just keeps his eye on the ball all the time, Glenn Manton, and is quite prepared just to push and shove and even throw his body in where the ball is.
He even took a mark earlier on when he went for a spoil, and the spills came back to him. Up near centre wing, down goes Hume. You're in heaps of bother! High tackle on him by David King. How's the umpire going to sort this out? Let's have a look at the mark by Glenn Manton once again. He had to reach down for it at the end. It's a beauty.
Great. The intention at all times was the ball was going to be his.
Umpire didn't see a free kick there. He's going to ball it up. Might have been a free kick there in the ruck contest. And out of play. It hasn't been over-umpired this game. There haven't been too many free kicks.
No, they've allowed it to go. I was just sort of wondering then about what it would be that the coaches wanted to get out of this game. Obviously, number one, a win. But in terms of team plays and structures, it's very difficult on a smaller ground like this to be able to set things up and get them going the way you want. I think what they'd be after is just for individuals to find a little bit of early form.
Well, here's Koutafidis, who was Carlton's leading goal kicker last year, and he's in the last line or second last line of defence today with virtually no workable forward line.
It's been a pretty quiet day from Kuta, hasn't it? You know, he really should be looked at this year as being a significant contributor to the goal scoring tally in the forward line. But started there, but no significant impact at all.
He broke a run of 11 years straight where Kernahan was leading goal kicker to win the goal kickers last year with the magnificent tally of 28.
Well, Anthony Rock drives North forward again. Carey gets a cruel bounce. Look at the pace of Abraham. Oh, he left them standing. Brilliant play. Look at that. He's going to be an acquisition of this team, a goal.
He was nearly
dedacked, and was that just the sense to be able to step back into the contest there? I mean, the Ansett Cup, it's a good competition for players often, but sometimes it can give a bit of a false sense. Remember, Alan Thorpe went to Carlton and kicked 5 goals or something in the game, wasn't seen, but Winston 2 goals here. Good start.
Well, Winston Abraham showing his pace firstly and then skill.
Showed more than that.
Terrific goal. Nearly lost his Dax. As we see Damien Locke going forward for the Blues, the big fist of Mickey Martin comes over the back. Peter Bell, the little swooper, is there, and he'll end up with the ball too onto Mickey Martin. And Mick drives it to centre wing.
Almost a mark there to Rock, put the ball over the boundary line. Aaron Hamill. North pretty much in charge of this since a very good second quarter. There's Porter getting the ball down to Locke, who looks a good player. Locke again. Whitnell!
Too slow, obviously much too slow.
Didn't see the tackler coming. Groom now for North. A high ball to centre half forward. Carey gets caught behind.
Free kick. Carey. I think he was grabbed once or twice in that contest, Drew.
Virtually being double teamed by Manton and Koutafidis now. And Wayne Carey, he hasn't been dominant, but he's the leading goal kicker on the ground. 3 goals, 3.
Now, this is great stuff here. That would be a great photo to capture and put on the wall of any budding young defender. There was no hesitation in Mick Martin. His work always starts from a defensive attitude. Then the players around him turn it into attack. They've ended now with Carey kicking a goal. Wow.
Well, he should have. It was a shocking kick. Houlihan with a chance. Down goes Manton. Still here for North. Cooter feed his hand pass. McKay's kick smothered. Cooter again. Eventually they're out of trouble. Camporelli gets it away to Anstey. A little underground hand pass. And run over the line by Rock.
We talked about those shorts before. Both these teams seem to be wearing those, the rugby type shorts with the elastic right around the outside. There's Mickey Martin's spoil again, and that makes Terry being a real...
it's just sensational. Yep. I mean, just the concentrate, look at his eyes there. Eyes on the ball, and the fist is coming through strong and hard.
Well, a lot of defenders there in that situation would have gone for the mark.
Great. Peter, and I reckon earlier in the game when Sean Charles was playing in defence, he was tending to go for the mark, and whereas really, if he's going to find a niche in defence for Carlton, he needs to be a more disciplined spoiler, as Mick Martin is.
Well, it's a free kick here at half back to Brett Ratton, just getting back to those shorts. They've got the elastic like the rugby players all the way around, and seem to be a lot looser than the shorts of previous years.
Bring back the buckle, Pete.
Well, I don't think they'll ever go back to the 1920 shorts anyway, when they're down around the knees.
Well, they nearly cost Abraham a goal because the shorts finished up just about around his knees.
Well, free kick here. The umpire has reversed it. It'll go to Hamill. Martin Pike looking on as Hamill drives it to half forward, hoping someone can take a mark. It's over the head of Manton. Manton races after it, and he latches onto it. Well, he tried to get it back to Smart, just a bit too slow. And there's Mickey Martin. Oh, he loves to run away with the ball. He chips it into centre wing, and the mark has been taken by Anthony Stevens.
In the last quarter here at North Hobart Oval. Kick by Stevens. Koutafidis now on Carey and outmarks the champ at centre half back. Manton's moved forward. Murphy now on the back line. Across he comes. Lock, kick up the centre wing. McKay. Inside 50. Charles is there. Oh, Pickett. Down he goes, he's hurt. Pickett. Byron
Pickett. I hope that's not an arm.
Didn't look too good.
Ooh.
Well, there's the knee, just on the top of the hip there.
Guess who got him? Archer. He doesn't care who you are. Well, he can be a teammate. He'll clean you up.
He's ferocious at the ball, Glenn Archer.
Oh, good mark. He is looking good, Mark Porter. Just 4 games, but free kick been sorted out here to Groom.
But if Mark Porter shouldn't worry about that free kick, he's got to take the confidence from that mark. It was very strong, very dominant.
Kick by Groom. Carey from behind. Manton. Another free kick to Carey. Against Cooter.
So Wayne Carey from way out at half forward drives it long and might be out in the full. This it is. And down the umpire right on the scene. And the Blues will take it out of defence. Koutafidis. Certainly looks different without that blonde hair. And he chips it wide, finds Whitnell. He's a promising young player. He's had a quiet game today. Centre wing is Groom.
Next thing, Ange Christo will come back with red hair.
Well, here's Winston Abraham. Now, this is the difficult side of the ground, and he'll have to kick at 55, but he is a booming kick. You would think the distance would be doubtful. But, having said that, he is a very long kick of a football.
You know, I think you'd be working now to get a contest right on the 10-metre square.
You would
and ensuring the row is on. So they've got the big stuff there. Chandler's ready to rove the contest from one side. Stevens is lurking on the other.
Well, it'll be a huge kick if he could put this one through.
And here comes Shannon Grant.
Well, a pack of players, almost a mark to Porter. Bella's there, and the umpire's found a free kick. It will go to Porter right in that goal square.
Mark Porter across to Chatfield. Out of the back pocket, Roberts does the spoiling to set up the Rovers. Chandler back to Roberts. Intercept there by Smart. and somehow kept in. Hogg, Martin, the ball was touched, play on, comes to Rice. Over centre wing it goes. Archer gets back. Oh, he's left it for Hamill. 50 metres out, he steers it towards goal and misses. First score today for Aaron Hamill. 11-7, trailing North 17-14.
David King had the opportunity to kick it to himself, then kick long, it floats over the back. Abraham.
Oh, excellent.
Cleverly done to Bell. Oh, danger here. I think Carey will mark this all right. Yep. Kutafides really had no chance in now. A hand pass, this could be dangerous. It may not come off, and it won't. I really, from that distance, it was too risky by Wayne Carey. He tried to give it to Brady Anderson, a young player, and I think he was too unselfish.
If that was the reason for doing it, Peter, I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
You know, really, in the context of the game, Wayne Carey should have kicked it. But with the lead they've got, young Brady coming on, to give him one, but gee, if you're going to give it to him good.
I've got...
what are you talking about, fighting or what?
I've got no doubt that he just tried to hand him a goal, the young fella then. So good thinking by Wayne Carey, but it did cost himself a goal.
Terry Wheeler played his whole career with that theory in mind. You're going to give him one? Give it to him good. How many times were you up there as a witness?
Much. Back to the game, ladies and gentlemen.
There's Dean Rice coming off. Plenty of interchanges. Wayne Carey's off as well. Certainly done his job. He's kicked 3 goals, 3. Here's Lance Whitnell to Kutafides. So the forwards are playing on the back line, and Grant can't keep the ball in.
Russell Morris mentioned earlier, there's a real heavy clash here in the centre of the ground. Rice is in there, and I think it might have even been the Carlton boy coming through that got him. But Lance Whitnell's general use of the ball hasn't been good today, and that coming across the back line there and missing the target was an example of the work that he needs to do if he's going to play up the ground away from full forward.
Kick by Smart to centre wing. Martin punches but doesn't find the boundary line. Here he is again. He's over the ball. The umpire says, give it to me, I'll ball it up.
Well, you think Wayne Carey is popular with the North supporters. I reckon that Mickey Martin's in the same popularity stakes.
And I tell you who else he's popular with, Routley's, where he buys his lunch in Williamstown. He bought the biggest salad roll I have ever seen in my life the other day.
What, are you up for
You
3
haven't got
lunches
shares in that place, have you? Come on.
No, I haven't.
Centre wing. North Melbourne with the game well in hand, but it's Carlton have shown some promising signs, blooding a lot of young players today. There's one of them, Locke. Mickey Martin again with a big fist. Taken by McCartney, who drives to the wide open spaces. The bounce important here, Groom and Whitnell. Groom had surprising pace then to beat Whitnell to it. Hooks it back on the left foot, 2-on-1. The Carlton player, well, Little Rock went in hard after it. The kick for goal was by Brady Anderson across the face, and eventually it's forced over the line.
He's the sort of pickup that would typify North Melbourne. I think Brady Anderson won the Sandover medal last year as a midfielder, and they just keep picking up these players who work hard in the middle of the ground.
Blood rule.
Whistle's gone off the ball, and it is the blood rule. Fourth ball going off. There's been plenty of this today.
Oh. It's been a good crowd here today, Drew. They've really got into the game. I think there's been a good atmosphere right throughout.
They love their footy, the Tasmanians. If you pick the best ever side from all the different states, I'll tell you what, the Tasmanian side over the years would stack up as well as any. In fact, I think it'll be the best.
Well, one blood rule man has been replaced by the other. So Dean Rice has come on with his head swathed in bandages. So he looks a little bit like Locke, who's played most of the game that way. Kutafides gets the hand pass out to Murphy. Here are a heap of goal kickers all on the back line for the Blues. This boy looks good. Massey goes in and applies the tackle on Grant. Comes to Abraham. Nobody there for North. Oh, Manton gets a shocking bounce. And Hogg has to rush it behind. You can tell how the Carlton defence has been under pressure. There have been 5 rush behinds to North, so they haven't kicked that badly. But it's been down there a lot, and Carlton have been under the hammer.
Just getting back to what I said a moment ago, what about Ian Stewart to Royce Hart to Peter Hudson. Not a bad from the centre line down the middle.
Yeah.
So centre wing Ratton taps it on beautifully to Murphy. Murphy to the half-forward line. Charles at the back. Flies. Taken away by Mighty McMartin. Just smothered off the boot. Hume to Rice. Rice, good play as he centred that ball to Hamill. Terrific play, Dean Rice. And I think he should have a shot from there.
And the terrific part about it is just that you have the sense and the awareness to look in there quickly. You know, more often than not, players will look up towards the goal and make the decision to go there. But Dean Wright gathers the ball, there's that little quick look over the shoulder and then drags it back perfectly out in front.
So Aaron Hamill for his first, he drifts it to the right and holds his head in shame because he has missed.
In the last 4 minutes of the game, Russell Morris.
Yes, Drew. Andrew Borkwell just suffered a broken nose in those last couple of minutes. Came up with the blood rule. The doctor was there trying to straighten it, much to the dismay of the crowd watching, but he's okay. If his parents are watching, not a problem. Most footballers, if you haven't got a broken nose in your career, you never will. You're not worth your salt, I suppose.
How do you straighten it? If you've been hit from the left, you straighten it by hitting it from the right. Kick in by King. Archer. Look out, Hamill. Archer's in there. And gets him. Spills to Murphy.
Good work.
Magnificent smother that time by Josh Robertson.
Yeah, I mean, young Josh hasn't had a run, much of a run at all. He came on a couple of times for a moment when Dennis Pagan wanted to talk to players, so he's been limited on his runs. Been a big week for him. He was the player involved in the Gavin Wanganeen case, so that's now behind him. He is a classy player from up around the Murray.
And the North players came from all over the place to pat him on the head and say, well done for the smother.
So I think they, there's no doubt. That's the qualities you appreciate. And if a young player can start a career from smothering, well, I reckon he's got a great foundation to develop something.
Smart wins the hit out, but it goes to Bell. High ball. Murphy, good mark. Under a bit of pressure. And Murphy just behind the wing.
Yes, they're not easy marks to take when you don't know what's coming from behind. So Justin Murphy, beautiful kick, 55, 60 metre kick, and that was almost a mark to North. Well done by Manton. Might be holding the man here, no. The kick by Anstey, I think he tried to kick a check side kick but missed it now. Pickett receives from Rock, drives it to centre wing, Whitnell at the back. I don't think it's a mark, it's not. So this is a young player, Chris Massey, bring it in towards half forward and Rice, and King just lets it roll over the line.
A significant game for Chris Massey and a lot of John Hines, another one from Carlton. Players coming up from the under-18 competition and stepping out. They've done their intra-club practice games. Now they're stepping into the Ansett Cup. The pace and the intensity of the game comes up. But listen, young fella, look out for the opening round of the real season. That's when she goes another cog.
Anderson gets the hand pass in and burrows in to get it again. Umpires have pretty much let it go all day today. Chance for Sean Charles. And Pickett goes hard at him. Murphy works it in over the top to Hogg, who was cleverly trying to get it down to Charles, but it wasn't read too well between the two of them, the ball out of play. We'll have a throw in. Umpire that side of the ground, throwing it into the breeze all day. This comes down to Murphy, who goes to ground. Again, no whistle yet until there's no chance of it coming out. And umpire Steve McBurney gets in there to ball it up. So North Melbourne will advance into the quarter-final stage of the competition, and the Blues will be doing the country run for the next month or so before the season starts. Here's Abraham getting the hand pass to Groom. Centering kick by Groom. Scholl in plenty of space. 49 metres from goal. Good run by Grant to supply the Shepherd to Stevens. Back to Scholl in front. 35 metres out. And he's missed it. Craig Scholl, 2 goals, 1 today.
And significant for Craig Scholl playing up the ground. Houlihan started at full forward and has had spells in other various positions, and then Carey took over it and the mainstay in the forward line. So Scholl, having started his career on the wing, then going to full forward over the last few years, may now be starting to find recapture the form of best and fairest years in the early 90s back out on the wing now.
Ball out on the full, so Abraham, if he's able, will take the free kick. Interested spectator today, Matty Armstrong, formerly of North Melbourne, who's now coaching North Launceston in Tassie. Abraham's kick in, attempted mark, overrun by Hogg. Chance there for Chatfield. Glenn Archer. Too far out to score, unless he really got onto a talk that pierced the wind. Stevens, just perpetual motion, offering a lead in short. Archer's kick, dropping pretty well short. Bell overruns, and the umpire comes in. There's the siren. And North are the first winners in the Ansett Australia Cup for 98. A comfortable victory over Carlton after the Blues made a lightning start, and then North came back in the second quarter, and in the second half it was pretty much beyond doubt. North 17-17, 119 to Carlton 11-8, 74. And full time here, and a comfortable victory to North Melbourne over Carlton in the first match of the Ansett Australia Cup in 1998. A margin of 45 points, 17-17, 119 to 11-8, 74. And the major goal kickers, Wayne Carey finished up kicking 3, and there are a couple there with 2. And for Carlton, well, they struggled on the forward line, and Pearce and Ratton each kicked 2 goals. So that's North Melbourne through the first round, and having a look at the family tree, Hawthorn, and they play Hawthorn or Essendon next up. And our next match comes from Cape Town in South Africa tomorrow night after the closing ceremony of the Winter Olympic Games. We'll take a short break from North Hobart. The next game in the Ansett Australia Cup is groundbreaking material coming from Cape Town in South Africa, live tomorrow night after the Winter Olympics closing ceremony. It's the Brisbane Lions playing Fremantle, all the way overseas. And the next game is on Monday night. It comes from Football Park in Adelaide between the defending day champions, the Adelaide Crows, and Richmond. And what a game that should be. I'm sure all the Crows fans will get there on Monday night. Hope you've enjoyed it here from Hobart today. Goodbye to you all around Australia.